fitting.
Oh, hi.
You think we have you here to play with us?
Welcome back to the Wileyverse.
I love how I was in there too.
Welcome. We're getting set up.
God, look at all that giant hippo chatter in the chat.
Oh, God, of course I like it.
It's a wheat tea, dog.
A wheat tea, bro.
We're not sponsored. I don't know if we're looking for that.
All right, welcome to the Wileyverse, everybody. This is Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. We play every Wednesday, 9:30 Arizona time. What are you doing over there, buddy?
Oh, I was making space for Mitch when he gets here. You know what? I'm sitting
He's
all
like,
day.
no, you're not.
Oh, I'm not?
Mm-mm.
So you don't want me to yell in your ear?
No.
How about you're in the middle?
It would mess up our GM.
Would it?
Mm-hmm.
Would that mess you up? Stream?
Wouldn't
Would it
mess me up.
No, I want to mess him up. I mess us up as a group.
All right.
So just relax and sit where you're supposed to.
That seemed very serious for such a casual suggestion.
We are playing 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons in the Forgotten Realms universe. Well, at least my version of the Forgotten Realms, where things have changed over the history of my playing this game in Forgotten Realms for like a decade. Just second on your corn dog over there.
Class there?
All right. This is an all Dragonborn game. They decided, our players and myself had decided to play all Dragonborn in this universe.
Oh my God! Thank you. I'm gonna put this back. I was joking. You actually made me drink. Thank you.
I was joking, but thank you anyway.
I was not joking. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
So where does... hey, well, now that we're on the chat, how would I send the link to this stream to somebody?
It's just twitch.tv/Wileyverse, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So twitch.tv/Wileyverse. And you would send that.
/ like that.
Mm-hmm.
Wileyverse.
This is very foreboding music.
Yeah, it's actually like a dungeon crawl playlist.
Okay.
It could be more interesting, but none of it is going to trigger any alerts or anything like that. So
I'm level 6, guys.
everyone's
Are you
level
really?
6.
I'm level 6.
So, they're playing all Dragonborn from the same clan from Tymenther, which is a kingdom in peril. It has been pushed to the brink by a tyrannical ruler, anti-metahuman, anti-non-human ruler, who also has allies backed from Tiamat. Mm-hmm. So our group, from one of the wealthiest clans, but not the most militaristic, has undertaken a journey. Supposedly,
They exiled that tyrant, and we are protecting him.
Supposedly, under Bahamut's name.
Supposedly.
They're taking a journey to save their kingdom. And it's taken some crazy turns. They now have a piece of metal they believe will forge into a god weapon of Bahamut. But they needed a place to forge that at, and to find that, they needed an old Dwarven map of the old Dwarven kingdoms. So they ventured into Castle Never, twisting labyrinth of magic and horrible and evilness. And they've just escaped that. They have actually just jumped out the side and had a fight with demons while falling before fending them off.
Also, that whole part inside Castle.
Oh, everything was terrible in there as well, but you guys are now out. So where they are right now is floating, feather falling, outside of Castle Never, above the channel below them, the water. There's a fishing vessel that has spotted them floating down there and is making its way over to try to rescue them. So they've used a rod of movability, an immovable rod, clicked it, and are now just hanging there waiting for this fishing vessel to get over to them. They have a dwarf with them that has been pulled through time and death. He was a ghost inside the castle, but they've actually...
Is it Rumblebane?
His name is Lockbeard,
yeah.
a.k.a. Eardog Rumblebane.
Yeah. They actually created an event which allowed this ghost who was reliving his death over and over and over again to survive his death, and it pulled him out of time into the current era, and they have taken them out of the castle.
What does he also think of that? I mean, she's a wizard. Does she have any...
No. The only person here that should have an issue, or not even should, but would have an issue would be a cleric. And he's not so much like Bahamut doesn't worry about the dead or anything like that.
I mean,
that was a massively
magic,
heroic deed. Massively heroic deed.
Well, what is she? I mean, the necromancy is a school of magic.
She is not a necromancer. She is far from it.
Sure, she's not a necromancer, but she's still a wizard. Right?
Yeah, and this isn't undead. This is real live.
Yeah.
Ooh. So they are in that predicament. You guys want to introduce yourselves? You want me to just go down the line and say who you are?
Well, I don't know. Everyone knows Rolfrest.
Oh yeah,
everyone
knows.
Everyone.
So, but
there's so much fan art online
I
of
know.
you. It's
Thank you all for
ridiculous.
sending all this fan art. I'm touched. I'm a little aroused, and I
Google RH like Rolfrost's autofills.
yeah. I would like to say though that it was session 12 when we went into this fucking castle.
Yeah, what are we at? 16?
17 tonight.
18.
This is 18 tonight.
18
yeah.
tonight. Yeah.
So
There's a lot of castle. There's a lot.
You guys spent a lot of time in that castle, I gotta say.
I feel like those little dragon underlings were so long ago.
Oh, the
yeah.
the worm spawn.
the
dragon spawn.
the
Yeah.
Dark Power Rangers.
Yeah.
And remember the Drake, like your
I'll never forget
nemesis, the Drake.
He feels like yesterday because I hate that fucking thing. I was so mad at that
He's a
shit.
childhood rival. I know.
Okay, so I'll go down the line. Rofrost is a paladin of Bahamut in the service to Clan Goldath, which they all are. He became a paladin after Savroth, the cleric of Paladin, saved his life, bringing him back from the dead, basically, on the field of battle to fight once more. And he saw the light and became a paladin at that point.
I like the cleric of Paladin.
Oh, cleric,
You get your powers
cleric of
from my
Bahamut.
magnificence.
Cleric of Paladin.
Cleric of Paladin. It's the dragon, Dragonlance in me, because Paladine is Bahamut.
Oh, is that right? Oh, really?
Yeah. Bahamut and Paladine are essentially
Well,
the same
ours is
god.
cooler.
And Tachesis versus Tiamat.
Oh.
Uh,
These are really aren't original ideas. There's nothing new. In
Well, I mean, it's all D&D. Like, they just changed the name of the god.
Yeah.
Savroth is a lord of the clan, cleric of Bahamut, and following, kind of going his way upon this quest. He's the one leading this group. In the middle, we have Xerinax the Underhand, and Xerinax, for his little time of service to the clan, joined a merchant vessel, sailing the seas, and got to know the cultures and the lifestyles outside of the clan holdings, thus called the Underhand, but also an integral part in their society as it allows them context with the rest of the world.
It's one of those dirty jobs, but someone's got to do it.
Yeah. And like your clan is known for being one of the most open-minded and like outgoing of all of them.
So, I know, yeah. We were hoping you'd bring back treasure, but you brought back an accent.
I do want you to remember that you are waiting for him. You are waiting for him to pass your scale.
I know what we're waiting for. I'm sort
You're
of
waiting for it. This is not easy to digest.
I am Wiley, the GM. I am also running the NPC Ayasa. Ayasa is an evocation wizard who's pretty enigmatic and strange and doesn't offer much help to the group except for a couple fireballs here and there. So,
well, the worst part about the passing scale is that my scale is on my fucking face. Like I took it scale, like I have to put it back.
You might want to find a new spot for it.
Well, it's
right here.
Right here.
Yours is in your forehead, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Pretty much.
Yeah.
And where is yours? Up throat. Yeah. And where's the Asa's?
No.
Okay, so right. You guys are hanging from an immovable rod about 100 feet from the water. And there is this wide-bodied skiff, like a fisherman's skiff. It's got a triangular sail towards the back with one long post. So, like, the bottom of there's probably a technical nautical term, but the
prow.
No. So the mast.
Oh yes, the mast.
The crossbeam that the sail goes down to.
Oh yeah.
One side of it is very long.
Oh okay.
That's the boom.
Yeah, the boom.
Pretty much the boom, but it's on where the sail is as well.
Right next to the skiff log.
Yeah. And in the back there is also a paddle, like a rudder, but it's a large rudder, so it can also be used to row.
It's called eel slappers, actually.
Shut up.
And there's this old man just wagging away at that thing, trying to hold up, I'll be right there.
So, in anticipation, I would have turned this rod sideways and probably helped him so that he can hold half the weight. I don't think
Him?
You guys are fatigued.
Rofros.
I can't support the weight of my entire clan.
Yeah, Rofros and Savroth are both exhausted.
Well, I wouldn't tell them about that. I'm undaunted.
Just remember, you have you have disadvantage on strength checks.
Well, I thought that was after the.
So is it me just being like?
But you're all featherfall, so you don't weigh anything.
Okay, well, that makes more sense.
Then I definitely do it.
Yeah, like you don't weigh anything.
Climb me, Rofros. You light motherfucker.
Absolutely.
All right, so
grab onto the pinky.
This old weathered man, he looks like he's carved out of mahogany.
That's racist.
That's not racist.
It sounds like a human to me. It's having a human
right.
negatively.
Arborist.
Yeah, arborist.
He gets his skiff underneath you. I was like, don't. It's pretty old. Don't break it, please.
Could you lower the rod?
And
I leave the rod. Well, fuck it.
I should have just click the button.
I'll click it and we'll feather fall onto the boat.
You guys all land in the boat. The boat is, like I said, a fairly wide, flat-bottomed skiff. There are two in the front half, or the front 3/4. There are two benches along the side, wide wooden benches halfway up, 3/4 up the side of the boat. When you sit on them, they are cold.
The benches?
Yes.
Are they too cold for short rest?
In the back, right at the cusp of the back half, like where the mast is coming out, is a bench, and that's where the old man is sitting. There's also kind of like tarps up, little posts with tarps up in the back to provide shade for him in the back there. And behind him is just, actually in all of the vessel, there's nets and gear and stuff and gaffing hooks and things. But in the back, there's several large wicker baskets just behind him. And like he goes and you guys get all down and he gets you settled and kind of like dotes over you for a bit, like looking at wounds and things like that. And like, are you all right? This and that. And
who is this guy?
We don't know.
Hef Blueski.
Hef Boyski.
Blueski.
Hef Blueski.
Hef Blueski.
Hef Blueski.
5th generation fisherman. Or second, he says 5th generation sailor.
5th gen. I'm sorry.
Sailor.
Okay. I introduced myself as Rofros, a 6th gen. Undaunted.
6th gen Undaunted.
I'm Rofros. I'm level 6. That's Rofros. He's special.
Don't mind him.
Yeah. Okay, so, but I do ask, like, I politely introduce and were you expecting us, or did you just happen to see us? Thank you for getting us.
I've been coming around this side of the bay for about a week now. See, the fishing just been a spot of bad luck for me lately. I thought I could get something good hooked over here. Hasn't been turning out so great. But then I saw you falling down and I came over here to help you out. Because you don't want to get into this water sometimes, like this close to that blasted castle. Did you guys come from that blasted castle?
We were visiting shortly.
Huh. Well, it's a good thing you're out of there now.
I agree. Thank you for... This is very kind and benevolent of you.
We were visitors there for several weeks, weren't we?
You don't know how much time has passed, but remember, you guys didn't... I think you took one short rest the entire time you were in there.
I don't think humans talk like this before we went in.
So you guys were in there for what was possibly days.
Many accents. Just that's mine.
Just for you, it was days. Like 2 days. It was about as long as you were in there.
Gotcha.
2, maybe 3. I think you did take one rest at some point.
We were so tired. Yeah, we saved it all the way until the end.
Right?
We
like
wore
you guys
ourselves
just
out that last couple of
you guys just never took a rest.
Yeah. For all we know, every time the mountain blew up again, that was like another 100 years of time.
Let's not do that.
Oh my god!
Who knows? Like time
I'm gonna stop
was
guessing.
like the places you saw light, the windows.
Yeah, no, I get it.
It was always a different time outside, day, night.
There was that room that was all seasons and stuff.
Yeah.
There was.
So you really have no idea.
At least 3 times.
Does he also know anything about time magic?
I mean,
I'm not going to bring that up now. What am I talking about?
Well, I'm a sailor. I'm going to talk to this guy.
I'm going to ask you: are the seats supposed to be this cold?
you want to. Actually, you're a sailor. Those are besides benches. Those are the cabinets where the fish are going to go, and they're probably packed with ice.
Gotcha. Nice getting that.
Yeah, he just goes and opens it up, and you see, there's ice.
Never winter my foot. The snow.
So can I tell from where we are in the water which direction is back to not Gauntlet? What is the name of the?
You're in
Yeah.
What is the name of the
that
dwarf
inn?
that we were? No. The guy that we were working for.
That was a few pages ago. Yeah. Hold on. Lord November.
No.
Never.
That should be Never Ember.
Never Ember. But you're talking about Greybender. Galdar Greybender.
Lord November.
So
we have the Dread Dork Skull. The Red Drake Skull.
So a quick thing, Neverwinter, the gate you came in and got attacked by the drake is over here, and it goes through, but a river comes through the entire town, and the castle is in an island in the middle of that bay that opens up.
Well, we were supposed to kind of report back to that dwarf that gave us directions.
You're supposed to go back to Neverember and the court and all that. But you have landed. You've landed on the north side of the castle. Okay. The bridge to the castle is on the south side. That pirate ship hotel you're staying in is all the way on the southern bank down here, and you're up here. So, you know where you are, but you know that you could go down into the bay, into the river for a while and get off somewhere there, or you can go back around to your pirate hotel and then come back up around.
I'd like to ask him to give us passage, to ferry us back.
He's a sailor. You have to do it.
Yeah. He looks, he's looking like you would open up the thing and all that, and it's empty. There's no fish in it. Yeah. And he's like, I just had a dry spell. But yeah, you guys are probably on some important princess saving or world stuff. Yeah,
a little thick there.
Can I toss some gold or something for this poor bastard? He rescued us out of his own kindness.
Well, you can.
Let's do that. Let's give him some gold. Perhaps this will help, and let's give him how much? You got some gold? You got a couple bucks?
No, we got something.
Oh.
It's the first time that the thief has to ask for a couple $. Give him some fucking gold. I'll give him 10
Wouldn't
gold.
you have the gold?
Yes, I do have the gold.
You pull out gold, and he goes, that's very, very kind of you.
Hesitantly?
Well, you're a sailor. Gold is great, but he's a fisherman.
Yeah.
He said he's had a dry spell for weeks. He's come over here to try to catch some things in this very dangerous part of the waters.
Oh.
And so you're going to, he's probably just gotten out here. Dawn is just breaking.
Okay.
And you're going to have him sail all the way back home. So his day is done if he sails you back home.
All right, well, we won't do that.
Yeah, but what is a fisherman usually fishes to sell those fish for money?
So, sure, but a haul of fish can can feed, he can give it to people, he can trade it for things, and he can save it for a long time. And money can do that.
How good of a fisherman am I?
It's just going to, like, this guy works for a living. He wants to work for a living.
Gotcha.
This is what he does. So, I mean, the money is nice, and that'll buy you passage. He's like, yep, I can do that.
I can see in his eye he wants to work for his money. He's a sailor like I am, so I'll offer instead to work with him for the day, fishing these waters.
I say, squeeze me?
Squeeze me?
It will be a good chance for me to teach these guys how to work for real.
Hey, I'm going to take a nap at this boat.
I was say the rest of us can take a nice little rest here while
if you offer your help,
good foreign policy.
He will put you all to work.
Oh no!
Throwing nets and hauling up stuff and telling stories. But so understand. Well, the whole thing about this is, a short rest is an hour long with no physical activity. Fishing for a day is, in turn, some laborious work, followed by long periods of sitting around waiting for nets to fill and all that kind of stuff.
We're coastal people.
Yeah, it's 6-8 hours are going to be out here. You'll get your short rest in between all of that. And you'll get regaled with 5 generations worth of sailor stories.
Oh, well, sign me up. This would be a good opportunity to see if any demons are going to be following us, flying out of this castle as well.
So
let's hang out with the fisherman.
All right. So,
my lord, are you cool with this?
Yes.
Now, he goes, like, this is almost super nostalgic for you because it goes right into sailor lifestyle.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if you two mess it up, but, like, he'll start telling you a story about one of his relatives and what they did on the high seas or something like that.
You just say, I don't know if you two
mess it up. Like, he'll start telling you a story about one of his relatives and, like, something they did on the high seas. Like, oh, one time my great uncle was out on the seas and a siren came and she dragged him under, but he wrestled with her and ended up making her his wife. Those kind of stories. If you stop him and ask questions, like, oh, but what about this and where was this and what's her name and that, then that ruins the story because he's trying to tell you a story.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, in return, you tell him a story. And it goes back and forth and back and forth.
I would probably halt them because I would know this is how this goes down. And in the meantime, while he works, I'd like to also see if I can prepare his nets or do any
and by
kind of...
halt them, you mean halt him.
Yeah.
Do soldiers do that? Like,
you two, right? Not
yeah, absolutely. They tell stories, but I would say that I would have to... I
said you two, yeah. Because you don't know that he's not telling a story for you to, like...
interrupt.
Well, not interrupt, but not, like... It's not like a story like, oh, this is something I really need to pay attention to and I need to ask questions and act like I'm interested. This is a crafted story that has like either a punchline or a moral or a something or whatever.
It's like being sung a song. You wait till the end and then you sing a song back.
Right.
That's what I would explain to you guys. Would be like, just listen and then you can say something you want.
I did not the specific oath I did take has nothing to do with lying.
Soldiers.
So I'm not going to call them bullshit this whole time.
Soldiers do a different thing, but they...
Like,
I cannot accept this.
Soldiers do a different thing. Like, it's almost the same, but it's different. There's soldiers brag, and everyone else calls them out on their bullshit.
Yeah, well, that's why I get that feeling too, and I kind of feel like.
But this is completely different. It's
storytelling. Yeah. What is Yasa doing?
Yasa's just helping out, listening to the story. She jots stuff down every once in a while.
Probably, even though they don't work for me, I'd probably put these guys to work on some basic stuff. You clean this.
It's easy. Well, it's not. Throwing nets is not easy, and he will try to teach you. And turns out that you can be pretty good at it, especially with your strength. But how you have to bunch it up and toss it for the free nets, and then there's the nets along the boom, all that kind of stuff. So you guys put to work. You get to sit and lounge if you don't want to. And after he's done telling a story, he has you tell a story.
I'll start, yeah.
So, do you tell him one from your sailing days, or do you tell him one from your current
I'd probably tell
endeavor?
him the story of the battle with the Sahagin.
Okay.
That was the first time I was a balloon.
No, the first time you were a balloon was the privateers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This was the first time I was tethered, though. Like, the boat was...
No, that was...
Oh, that was the privateers. That's right. That's right. I was a Sahagin. That's because there was that fucking... They had a mage on their boat. That
it was in the dead of night,
that's
and
true.
you guys you were anchored.
Well, I'll tell that story then.
Which, the privateers?
Yeah. No, the Sahagin story is more exciting for a sailor story because it's got monsters and it's got near defeat and like travesty. It was really it's a Sahagin story. For sure.
All right. And he'll tell another story.
Tell the bad Power Rangers at the Pinion story.
Well, I was going to say that, but I'll tell a story about how we came across a town that we thought was devoured by a giant, and a giant ended up being
that's a good one.
Friend and helped us defeat Dark Hills under the ground and free this town.
Ooh,
nice.
Good story.
You guys start pulling up fish, like lots of fish, and he's just like, you can see like he's just trying to play it off as like, oh, like
that's what happens.
That's what happens. Mm-hmm. But he told you it was a dry spell, and he's just loading up those benches, and he takes one every once in a while. And he opens up one of the baskets and throws it into the basket in the back.
Okay.
And then you'll see the basket start like shaking.
He's feeding his mimic. I don't trust this boat anymore. Lift your feet. You can't. No, mimic boat.
And he'll trade another story and tell another story back.
Sure.
I don't tell stories, so that's all you get.
So, over the course of the day, how many stories do you tell this guy?
I'd say I would have...
Are you, like, he seems completely open about this and that, his life and going on.
Honestly, for me...
working hard.
This would be what I used to do, and that castle was sucked. So it would be relaxing, like fishing would be fun.
This is super relaxing.
Yeah,
actually.
fishing would be fun and telling the stories.
I
think every time I tell a story that he was like, oh, and also there would definitely
be.
One time
I would try to look for a horse under a bush, but there was a dragon, and there's a drake, the red
drake. Drake story is a really good story. There's 3 parts to that one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
We met a fucking beholder.
Meanwhile, I'm paying attention to pretty much anything else. Only during their stories. His stories I might actually listen to a little bit of, but I'm trying to be just aware of our surroundings and make sure that there's nothing.
Yeah, looking up the castle, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about
it. You can you lay back, look up at the castle, listen to everything. Hear the splish splash of that. That's when
splish splash. I was telling the story.
You're just kind of sitting there, listening, listen to the stories, peeking up every once in a while. That's when something jumps onto your leg and is down your leg.
Probably nothing. Ignore it.
I mean, I would obviously if someone jumps on my leg, I'm going to sit up and
you look down and there's a tabby cat.
Okay.
Just walking down, looks up at you. And you see one of the lids of the basket is off, and there's a couple cats now around him, and there's one sitting up there, and one now on you, and it's licks its chops, and just kind of turns around 3 times and just sits on your thigh. And it was looking out at the water, starts cleaning itself. You're my perch now.
This is a good omen. The cat is yours now. Excuse me. You are the cats now.
Would I know what the hell a cat is?
Yes.
They're
exotic pets in
Timothy. That's actually a good. I was like, how'd you know that when you?
Well, because if it's just.
You try to shake the cat's hand. This cat doesn't understand handshakes.
I just clawed
you try
into my skin.
Teaching it.
Is it's in Hef, right?
Hef, yep.
Like Jeff with an H or
H-E-F.
With an H.
Like Stephanie without an N-E or a st. And then after the
What?
there's
Yeah,
nothing.
alright,
And
I get it.
F Blueski.
Stupid. Is he within like earshot?
Oh,
Like,
I mean,
you know?
this boat's not that big.
Like,
Like, this boat is this boat is as long as this room and as wide as this table to that wall.
So I'd probably just not like
What you
yell
kidding?
overbearingly, but just like Hef, what?
Oh, I can't leave them at home. They would just destroy everything. So I bring him out here with me. He like, reaches back
How
and
many
pets
cats
him.
does he have here?
Like a little bit over a half dozen.
Half dozen cats on this fucking boat.
All tabbies.
Nobody did want money.
I was like, you realize a half dozen is like only 6, right?
I mean, that's a lot on
That's
a
a
boat.
lot of cats.
That's a lot of cats in general, let alone on a boat and a lake.
I grew up in a household that had 14 cats at one time,
Man.
so
I got some animals.
that's why like I hear a half dozen, I'm like, oh,
I had 20
that's
different
nothing.
species of animals in my house once.
Oh, that was
All right,
crazy.
I'm out of here.
But my house smelled so funky.
So I've got a question for you two, because you guys get in a rotation where it's like he tells a story, then you tell a story, then he tells a story, then Iyasa tells a story, and then he tells a story, then you tell a story, then he tells a story, then Iyasa tells a
did we
story.
step into some kind of like fairy circle?
Well,
like,
So nobody is
coming
Alf,
up from
by the
our
way.
stories.
No one can
No
be
one,
Alf.
no one's eating
Yeah.
cats.
I'm
So,
not gonna eat a cat.
how much are you telling him about your guys' adventures? And,
Everything.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
We're having a good time.
and he, like, you know now about 5 generations of his family's sea life.
Oh,
you know.
all the blue skis.
Yeah. As you just haul up so many fish that the benches won't even set closed anymore. He is just thrilled. The tone of his voice just gets faster and more excitable every haul you guys bring up.
I guess at this point,
I don't think this guy's human.
yeah. Like I said, I think now that the holds are full, that it might be time to re-ask him to take us back.
And it's like halfway. Like, this is a fast, bountiful haul. Half the time you normally have spent out on the waters for the day. Like, you guys have been out here 4 or 5 hours, and he's already like pulling up the sail and getting ready to leave.
I will ask him. So, do you live in a town, or do you live alone with your cats?
You do realize you're in a city.
But it's ruined. Like,
No, it's not. No, not all of it.
oh, I thought there was like an expedition here, and this guy seems like he just lives.
No, there's fishermen that still.
Never is where
I
we
don't.
should-
Okay, all right.
Like,
I
you've
have a
walked-
different
yeah,
perception
yeah.
of the
Yeah,
city
you've walked
itself.
through the bazaar.
We fought the Drake outside
Yeah.
of the
So-
gates.
Oh, there
to
were
Never.
villagers coming
Right.
in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so Neverwinter is like.
sorry, that
yeah,
was
yeah,
like
That
8
wasn't
sessions
long.
ago.
Yeah, that was-
So I'll say, like,
It's just
Neverwinter,
a
like,
castle that is like.
let's say the bound, like, here's the water of Neverwinter, and here's the wall on the opposite side. Neverwinter is like this huge city here. This is the old ruined, and here, where like Castle Never is in the middle, is Survivor's Enclave, and that's New Neverwinter.
Oh,
So it is a whole city.
Okay.
Like, you've walked through the bazaars. There's commerce. There's people. There's an entire trade district. All that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So there's a smaller city inside of a
I had in my
ruined,
head that
larger
these were just
city.
like
Yeah.
merchant wagons coming through
No.
to make off
There are, but
yeah.
it's just it's not as big as Waterdeep, or it's not like it has its whole bounds filled in. There's
Yeah.
some bad
I'm
parts.
trying to remember the whole gate scenario now. Yeah.
So yeah, he lives in Neverwinter. Like, he's just a merchant that fishes, sells at the local markets, and makes his living that way.
What a quaint little man.
I still feel like our stories had something to do with catching the fishes.
Yeah, you are, Wes. You are a little late.
Whoa!
Hey,
Welcome
you
back,
missed a
Wes.
whole lot of fishing.
You
buddy.
did miss a whole lot of fishing.
Oh, we just had our fucking giveaway we do once a month too.
Oh man, yeah, you would have been
I'm just kidding.
the odds would have been pretty well in your favor being the only person in that too.
I'm just being a dick.
That would be super fun. We're giving away 1 dice.
Here, you can have this cursed set.
Yeah. You want to set a cursed die?
Nobody touched
Just
it.
type exclamation point giveaway in the chat.
We'll review through all the messages from the chat. Later we'll have a team to go through it all.
A team will go through it.
Comb through all the, Yeah.
Exclamation point giveaway. And this set of dice that you should never use for fucking anything.
Just burn it. So they fell out of the castle, got picked up by a fisherman, and then helped him fish
Lot.
all morning with his cats.
A lot of cats.
Yeah.
A lot of cats.
7-ish tabby cats sitting in his vessel. They told stories. They told him about their journeys and their quest and their stories and what's happened to them. And he told them about his 5 generations of sailors and pirates and fishermen and drunkards and adventurers. And
just out of player curiosity, was any of the stories interesting?
oh, they were all interesting.
Really?
Yeah, they were absolutely all pretty interesting.
Like stories are pretty fun.
Okay. Oh, okay. Like actual
Because they have
fantastical tales. Like really? Like
Yeah.
Okay.
They would have but they would have morals too. It'd be something like, and that's why you should always bring a light. Because when we were talking about going into the cave with the drow, it would end with, "That's why I always carry this light," or "That's why I can't leave the cats at home in the dark." There'd always be some sort of answer to the end of the story.
Okay. So it wasn't like listening to a stone giant for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Nah.
I don't know that reference, but it's okay.
I don't want to know that.
You got an awesome set of cards out of it, though.
I did.
All right, so you guys make your way back around the castle, out almost like you could see where the ocean enters the bay, and you head towards like this little row of buildings right at the edge of the bay. Obviously, part of Neverwinter, but kind of like a little shanty town part of it where there's fishermen's, there's piers, there's.
It sounded like a horn at first.
The Vuvuzela chorus.
There's piers and all this stuff where these fishermen are in and out. You see vessels all over the place. This little just fishing community down on the bay. And he starts heading towards that. You know that the place you've been staying at. Now I can't remember what it was called.
Oh. We were staying at the Protector's Enclave.
You had a choice of 3 inns, or 2 inns, I think, and you picked one.
Oh.
It was the grounded pirate
Stola
vessel.
Steel and Row Twilight.
No, it was the one that was a boat.
Customs over.
There we go, we're getting closer.
Well, these are all notes on. Did I not write down the inn names?
No.
I usually write them.
It's before this.
Little Rock.
Driftwood Tavern.
Driftwood Tavern.
I think. No, that's not it.
Because it would have been. Oh,
should
maybe.
be.
Yeah,
should
you're
be.
right.
Yeah.
It was after we killed the Drake, right?
It was after you killed the Drake. You guys went in there and drank.
I don't think I have it written down.
You went out and hung out with guards afterwards.
I know. That's why it's weird. I must have been wasted. I didn't write down. I was purely writing down important information I thought would help us in the castle.
Yeah, well, we did not write the name of the. We have to go back through sessions to figure out the name of that hotel.
No, I know what it is. I just have to find it.
The internet.
It was Cheddar's.
Cheddar's. The Beach Leviathan.
The Beach Leviathan. So we're back there?
No, but you know that it's just down the ways on the shore. It is literally a beach pirate ship.
That's right.
So do you want him to go home, or do you want to try to convince him to take you back to the Beach Leviathan? I mean, because you can walk from his town. If you want to help him haul, you can also help him haul in all the fish.
I'll do that.
We can help haul stuff.
Right.
He did save us from the.
So you guys head up. He docks. Pulls out a gaffing hook, long spear with the hook on the end to grab the pier and pull the boat towards you. Tie off a knot on it, and then you open up the benches and start essentially shoveling fish into barrels to load back up onto the pier. And he's just super excited to see, 1, 2, 3, 4 barrels of fish, come out of his boat. You can even see people walking by and commenting about how good of a... Well, it smells like fish all over this pier.
Right.
Commenting on how good of a haul it is.
I said, no, it's a bit of dry spell, apparently.
And they say, it has, and, walk off. But he's like, oh, I can take it from here. He's pulling up the baskets with his tabby cats in them, putting them all, one on each barrel. I can take it from here. I've wasted you young'uns' time long enough. I'm sure you have princesses to go save.
Just the prince. Well, thank you for saving us from the moats of the castle.
I do. Nah, you did a hard day's work. I owe you something. Hold on.
Saved our life.
He jumps down into the boat again, scrambles through the nets and stuff like that, and pulls up this oiled burlap, kind of wrapped, long package or long parcel.
Oh, guys, a katana.
And he opens it up. No, it's much longer than that. He unwraps it and he pulls it up, and it's a gaffing spear. Essentially, it's a gaffing hook. So, like a 8-foot pole with
spike and a hook on it.
Yeah, it's got the spike and a hook. Like you would grab a pier with to pull over, but you can also use to, push away rocks and things if you're in shallow water. And if you needed to fight with it, you could. And then he tells you a story about his grandfather fighting off a sea hydra with this thing.
A sea hydra.
Yep. It's a pretty quick story.
Okay.
Bullshit.
Bullshit. And he says, with you all going to face dragons and such, especially, what did you say that one was? 5-headed dragons?
Dude.
Sounds like you might need this more than I do. He hands you this gaffing hook.
What? Da 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 da!
It's dangerous to go alone.
Yeah.
Take this. Gaffing hook.
Thank you.
Really?
It is the secret to everyone.
I shall pierce the heart of evil with it and then hook it back to shore.
I shall put this in Savroth's bag and forget about it.
I like how he kept being like, is there something that you have in your bag? I'm like, no. The wax ball.
You can't put that in a bag unless you're putting it in Savroth's bag. And he's not.
I'm carrying this thing.
Okay. It is.
You've turned into
It
an
has
anime
been.
character. You have like all these big weapons hanging off your back.
Between you two, looking at this thing as a soldier, as a sailor, this thing has been well maintained. Like, you can tell that it's not the original hook or metal, but the haft of this thing is oak. It's sealed in some way. It's been lacquered or sealed in some way. It's really like a sturdy ass handle for this thing, and that's probably what's the most valuable, like what he feels is valuable about it, because the iron or steel hook on the end, actually it's iron, rust just starting to show up on the edges, so fairly replaced fairly recently, but definitely not 3 generations old, except for that wood. That haft is probably that old and well maintained, well taken care of, kept out of the sun, kept oiled. Looks pretty good.
See how strong it is. Oh dear.
Blueski's like, no. He's gonna tell that story from now on.
All right, so you
now
guys.
I'm the sea hydra.
Well, I think we should hand back to. Rumble thing's with us, right?
Yep. Yeah, he's been there the entire time.
Yeah.
He's been kind of like
antsy,
coalescing, like
he's figuring
trying to
this is weird.
What the hell? Like,
did I really lose everything?
He's been talking to you for some of it to try to figure out how long it's been, exactly what's gone on between now and then, and talked history with you a little bit. and try to piece together, because you guys are from completely different parts of the world. So he's trying to piece together where he is now from what you're saying and where he was before. But he'll also tell you all about the old Dwarven nations. And you have to understand that even he is not from the time when the Dwarven nations were at their height. I mean, that was thousands of years ago, back in the time when humans were just coming about.
That should have been a story we told us, like, hey, we just bought this guy a fucking time.
Yeah. But yeah, he'll talk to you about the old Dwarven kingdoms, especially if you want to talk about Kundrel, and such as that.
Also, where in here is short rest?
You guys can all do a long rest, because you're not going to be in any danger for a while. So it's going to get there before you do anything else. I'm not sure either.
I don't like clicking it because
it does mess everything up.
It does something about hit points and wanting to reset them back to their original state. But
excellent. We get our hit points back. We get our spell slots back.
Yeah. So he talks to you about the city of Drunbar, which is where Volkundrel is. And he'll tell you where he knows it is, because he knows where it is. And you also have the map, you can see it.
You should show us.
Do you want to know that now, or do you want to know it when it's pertinent? You have the knowledge. He's told you. Or do you want me to tell you now?
Well, I think he would... Sorry, go ahead.
No.
We don't have to talk about it in game right now. We could move forward. Would you reunite him with Greybender, and the discussion of where you're going to next happens?
No, we wait then.
Okay. Because I'm just saying that you have the knowledge now. You know where it is. You know what it was. You know what its importance was in the kingdom. All of that knowledge is yours. You have it in you. So if you need to reference it, you just tell me. Here in my garage. Here in my fishing boat.
I would assume that Rumble Thane would actually be really interested and eager to talk to our dwarven.
Oh yeah, he wants to get back there as soon as possible.
We should take him back, actually.
But do you guys want to stop at the Beach Leviathan? Freshen up, see how much time has passed. It is mid-afternoon now.
Yeah.
By the time you sail all the way back around, do all that stuff.
But these bumpkins aren't going to know anything about that.
Well, you can see how long it has been since you stayed there.
These bumpkins.
Oh, we could, yeah. Good call, Yasa. Do we want to go to the Beach Leviathan, or we just want to go straight to the castle?
And Rumblethane actually says, I could use a pint.
Yeah? Wow.
I high five him.
Yeah. Sounds pretty good. Not that much of a hurry.
It's like a gnome.
I mean, you've been locked in time for how many years? It's probably been several centuries since you've had a drink. I think that's a long time for your people, isn't it?
No, and yes.
All right.
To him, though, it's only been a couple of days. Like, yesterday he was stomping around the castle, and today he's an eon in the future.
Yeah. So you heading back to the Beach Leviathan?
Yeah, with my gapping hook.
Yeah. I love how you have a hammer, a maul, a gaffing hook, and your sword. Like three two-handed weapons.
And a cape.
And a cape. He does also have a cape.
It is an impressive cape.
Yeah. It's just... It hangs all weird because it's like draped over a bunch of
weapon
handles.
You give +5 to everyone's saving throws.
That's right. I just bleed confidence in everyone around me.
They all leveled, by the way, their
do you see his cape?
They're 6th level. All right, so you head back to the Beach Leviathan. They welcome you back like you were, long-time friends. Ask if you want the usuals, because you were there for several days as you were researching and preparing for your thing. You get seated, you get food, you get drinks, and you learn that you've been gone for a month.
Jeez.
Sounds about right.
Could have been worse.
I don't remember sleeping that much. No wonder I was so tired. I thought it was that demon putting magic on me. Turns out we've just been walking around for weeks.
Who can say how long we've dealt with the Beholder?
Well, I do have one way of telling how long we've...
You better be diligently rooting for your
Oh, I'm been. Get that little cleaning spill of yours ready, would you?
Inspiration down there. I do have one way of telling how long.
Mage hand.
Clean,
we kind of rested on the boat a bit.
Sterilized.
We were pretty much hanging out with a fisherman for most of the day, just like resting his boat and like helping him.
They did get their short rest, but it was over like a 6-hour period of time fishing with that old
for long rest.
Huh?
You said long rest.
Yes, you're because I'm saying long rest because I know that you're not going to get into any confrontations for a while.
Started bar fights.
Yeah, we're getting into downtime kind of esque area.
Okay.
Where you know, you're dealing with politics and people. And
got my second win.
So we learned in the Beast Leviathan. We've gone for a month.
Oh, I've got a question for you. And I think I asked you this last session as well, but I want you to bring it back up again. The breastplate you have.
And it's glorious.
Yeah, it's not really. I mean, it's really nice, but it's
dented.
dented up and old looking. What did you write down about that?
Oh, boy. Let the baby cry.
Let the baby cry.
While he is figuring that out.
Band name,
Ring of the Ram, how does it start
your
his
band,
reset?
Oh, all of those are gone. Or return. Well, it's a D. It's 4 charges, right? How many charges can it hold?
The Ring of the Ram is 3.
3. It's D4 plus 1 charges. A long rest. It regains.
It was worn by a
but you'll get it all
Slayer.
back by the time any action happens. Same thing with your wand.
It was worn by a dragon slayer who died fighting a dragon.
And that's all you have?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gold.
Nope, that's fine.
It's gold.
It is gold.
Burnished, beat up
Burnished
a little
gold,
bit.
yeah.
All right.
Cloak of chat. Oh, yeah,
I think the cloak's
charisma plus cloak of chat. I just read that. Ka plus chat.
It was a Hero of Neverwinter, if I recall.
It was not. It was a Hero of the Sword Coast.
Hero of the Sword Coast.
You just wrote hero or this.
Yeah. I remember that. But Hero of the Sword Coast.
I do call this person, the previous word, died fighting dragons wearing this.
It has what looks like a giant slap coming out of it. Like someone has carved a penis.
No.
Vernon brothers have been here.
All right. So
world.
you guys sitting down,
Anywhere.
drinking, relaxing, and learning that you've been gone for a month. That 1-2 drinks, that warm meal turns into 5-6 drinks. Eardod is starting to he's asking more questions, but he's also with the drink in him, talking about destinies intertwine, the will of the ancestors. Oh, I don't.
He's
For everyone at home. So I got a new shirt for GMs. It says,
You can certainly try.
"You can certainly try." Can we do this? You can certainly try. So this is my new GM shirt. Big fan.
So it sounds like Rumble Thane is Rofrossing it up right now.
Yeah, and he's just like,
Ha 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 ha. And then this, motherfucker.
he's not getting all crazy, but
Oh.
he's been pulled through time. He needs a rest. His last memories were worried about his kingdom being destroyed. It did get destroyed. He died. Now he's back at a time where it's being rediscovered. His kingdom is being rediscovered.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
I'll be drunk. Can I
Yeah.
just be drunk? But then I'm and you could just tell them how all, because they're going to think that I'm sure they would have these pillars like this, but you were there, so you could tell them. No, they were like this, actually.
Savroth and I just kind of sit back and let you and Rumblethane argue about nothing.
It's going to be great!
When the night slips away from you, as you are finally in a position where you feel safe and relaxed, and the drink is coming, and you're out of that damn castle, and with this dwarf who wants to drink and try to reassess his whole life. But yeah, you guys are shown, you stumble off to rooms later that evening, and...
Was it really just like that for him? That, like, it blew up and now he's here?
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he's now, like, and he'll even say, like, he gets frustrated, like, even, like, during that night he's talking to you, because he feels that he probably was, lured away by schemes and machinations so that the Thayans could attack while he was not there guarding the gates, because those are all his runes on the gates that he controls, and they're easier to crack when the person that made them is not there controlling them.
What was up with the seasons rule and all that? Were you?
He doesn't know about that.
He doesn't know about that.
Without telling Rumblethane, I mentioned to you, like, perhaps we pulled him away from his time and we destroyed Castle. He was the rune caster. We're like, hey, have this ball with wax. Oops. Continue your conversation.
Well, I wasn't even listening when you say. So how's my comment? Is it different than the comment you spoke yesterday to you?
Oh, I can't tell it apart from all of you.
It's so weird, right? I wish I could.
Humans are so weird.
I know. That fisherman, I didn't believe a word he said.
So,
he's got a nice stick, though.
He's there drinking. Oh.
He's there, too.
What is your rooms arrangement? Who's staying with who?
I was staying with Ayasa.
And you were with him?
Who you were?
Yeah, because I was sleeping. Oh, no, I was gambling most of the night the first night.
Yeah, but it was...
So Rumblethane will stay...
He'll stay on his own.
Okay. He's like, that is...
Yeah.
Like you just pointed out, like, he went from...
Yeah, he's...
Last thing he saw was him basically himself about to die.
And
all of a sudden now he's just been hanging out with us.
Him falling for a plot against his kingdom, which succeeded, and it also killing him, even though he was miles away from his kingdom.
Can you imagine going to Pompeii right now and accidentally bumping into one of those like ash statues, and it just like crumbles, and there's a person in there like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And they're speaking like what just happened? And you're like, oh.
Well, let me tell you. So,
speaking in ancient form of Greek that I can't translate.
What?
I'll just draw a dick butt on the ground. Hope he understands. Papadopoulos.
There is a.
That's Greek, right?
Light.
Technically.
There's a light but firm knock on your door in the morning.
A light butt.
A light butt.
The light butt knocks firmly.
A light but firm.
Housekeeping.
Dink, dink.
You call for a light butt?
I'm sleeping.
It sounds like
a light butt.
Oh, yes.
I asked
music sounds like
for medium to heavy butt.
It is apparently Dragon Age Inquisition.
Oh, is it?
This is Warcraft.
Is it?
It is. Wow. It's like Elwyn Forest.
Elwyn Forest.
Yeah.
The first song that came up was Dragon Age Inquisition.
What was it last? We both thought it was Mass Effect, and it turned out being something different last week.
Yeah,
it was like, who can know this when it came out? I'm like, oh, we were both like, yeah, Mass Effect.
Yeah, so I'll go answer the door.
All right. There is a small female gnome.
Yeah. I guess I should be. Because if Rofrost is in a room with me, are you going to let me answer the door?
I'm sleeping.
Yeah, he is. Okay. He drank a lot more than you did.
That's fine.
Because
usually he'd be like, no, my lord, let me answer the door.
She is wearing kind of a uniform. There's livery. It looks like the colors of Lord Neverember. And she's like, "Hi, you're back. We're so glad to see you. Oh, I'm Ifa."
I was really hoping it was a halfling and not a gnome, because they're light. It's probably a Lightfoot halfling.
So I'm Ifa Two-Step, Page of Neverember. I've been coming here every day to see if you guys come back, and here you are. I'm so happy.
You don't have to come back. I'm not even here. Sorry.
Thunder.
The Lord has been waiting for you. When can I tell him that you'll go see him?
It is. Is this morning?
Yes.
Tell the Lord we will be there, and
I look at my wrist. My wrist tells me we will be there by midday.
Get all your scrolls tied here.
Tell your Lord that we needed so much rest after coming out of that castle, so we will be there by midday.
Oh, well, take your time. It's great to see you come out of Castle Never at all. We are much relieved to find you back here. We got a little bit discouraged after the second week.
We'll tell him that we may have some surprises for him and much information.
Surprises! I'm so excited! All right, midday. I'll tell him to expect you. He's been so eager to meet you. He's made new friends and told them about you. I can't wait. All right, midday or after. Take your time. I mean, you can take as much time as you want to relax.
Well, thank you. Two-step, you said?
Correct. If a two-step.
If like IFFA? Or...
Correct. If a two-step.
Two-step. TOO step. Not like the number. I don't know, actually.
It's actually TWO, yeah. TWOSTEP. Two-step. All one word, no hyphens or
November's.
No, it's one of Neverember's pages.
Have we not actually met November yet?
You have, yeah. Okay. You got brought right to him after the fight at the gate.
She said like, "Oh, can't wait to meet you."
Like, we can't wait to see you again.
See you, yeah. Sorry.
Greet you, welcome you back.
I was making sure like you weren't using certain vocabulary on purpose. No. I was like, yeah, I bet
this isn't Cackle. Oh, poor Cackle.
Poor Cackle.
So she turns and hops, basically skips down the way away from you.
Well, I attempt to go over and wake Rolfros up.
He's a soldier. He wakes up fairly readily.
Yes, sir.
So readily.
Hey, wait.
Oh, where are you going, Mitch? What? You got bartending to do for these guys.
I smell something short.
I was like, just tip me an inspiration, but I already had inspiration. Just gonna make sure glass.
Alright. I'm gonna take a quick break before you guys wake up, decide a game plan, and then possibly go see Lord Neverember.
And Grindelwald or whatever his name is.
Oh, Greybender.
Yeah, there you go. Not the wizard from Harry Potter.
The Crimes of Grindelwald.
I haven't seen any of those movies. Are they any good?
They are actually.
Yeah?
I want to see them. I like the universe.
Yeah, me too.
The second one, I think, is
Donaldgrim.
I think the second one is better because it's actually like there's more like wizards doing wizard things.
Oh yeah.
The first one is very much all about the
wizards
basically
in America.
Basically just the one wizard and him like catching creatures.
Oh, okay.
And so like to me the plot was kind of slow to develop. You're like, there's some big thing going on right now, but we're so focused on like these fantastic beasts.
Right, kind of establishing what this guy's life is
we're
like.
Not really like focused on what the big thing is going on.
Is he like Ace Ventura, or is he like? Never mind. Like Ace Ventura. Nature calls. Hello, Wolfmaster. Fenrir, as it were. Welcome back to the stream. We finally escaped the castle. It was session 18 of this game. And we went into this castle at session 12. It's been long. We're finally out of it. It is a big castle. So big.
It's a big, terrifying castle. Whew.
Yeah, you saw it too? That's cool.
So what?
It's the not Harry Potter movies.
The Fantastic Beasts.
Magic Ace Ventura. It's not weird. I liked Ace Ventura. Golly. When I was
God,
about...
it was so good. Which one?
The first one.
I was like 10, 11, 12 when those movies came out. And it was the funniest damn thing I ever saw.
Than that. The first Ace Ventura came out when I was 10.
Is that right? Oh, God, you're like 50, so shit, yeah.
You guys are the same age, aren't you?
Huh? No, how old are you, 32?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 37.
Oh, okay. I mean, you're all younger than me.
Yeah, we're all a little bit younger. Eric's the oldest.
Everyone's a bit younger than you, Dave.
I remember thinking, like, Galen's the same way too. What, Galen's 33? 30?
He's younger than you or older than you?
He's younger than me, so he's like 32.
Yeah, he's 30. Yeah, I think he's 31 or 32. He's pretty young too.
I'm 33, I forgot. 33.
I'm not surprised.
God. I have to remind myself too, I'm like 37.
Do you, like, okay.
Sometimes.
Because I will forget how old I am, and I feel like such an idiot.
Well,
and I'm like,
I do that.
how
I used to do that all the time.
I used to be real bad about...
Just at 40, so it's like, oh, I'm at a milestone again. I can remember that.
Yeah.
Mine was always going forward. Like I'd be like
26.
I'll be 38 this year. So I'll say that too much. I'll be like, I'm 38 this year. I'm 36. People are like, how old are you? I'm like 38. And like my wife is like, you're 37. Like she'll have to yell my age to me while I'm conversing with someone else. How old are you? I'm like 26. She's like, you're 27. Like you're just weird.
26. Wow. Hey, your insurance went down. Doesn't that go down at 26? Yeah, 25. Okay. Well, then you got nothing for this year.
Except for I don't even know if that's a thing anymore with the way insurance companies are.
I don't think my insurance went down.
It's also affected by race and demographic.
Oh yeah.
California finally outlawed gender bias on
Is that
insurance.
right?
Which is okay.
All those lady driver jokes, they finally
used to, like, it's still one of the
so much weight.
It's still one of the most like legal form of discrimination ever.
No.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, they used to be worse. Like you'd
I'm
have a
sure they used to be worse.
you'd have
They
a
still let
questionnaire.
ladies drive in some places.
Oh my god.
All right now.
They just allowed Saudi Arabia is allowing women to drive finally. Like fucking ridiculous.
No, it is ridiculous. Like
It's
not to get political.
ridiculous that they've banned it so long.
Oh,
Yeah, come on now. We're trying to get
what do you
partnered.
say?
We're trying to get partnered here.
That's what I'm agreeing with you. What do you think I'm saying?
It's like ridiculous.
What
They're
do
now
you
letting
think? What do
women
you
drive.
think you're saying?
I was actually saying the opposite. But I think you guys was thinking I was.
No, Fringe Lord, come on.
No. I'm saying there's I think it's crazy that there's no.
Okay. They used to ask things like, "Do you get fast food? Do you go through the drive-thru for fast food? Do you smoke?" There's a couple other ones, but it was all to determine if you were a one-handed driver or not. If you're a one-handed driver, your
So I did
insurance
this
would go
stupid
up.
thing with I was doing Progressive, which I think is a great insurance company, by the way. We're not sponsored by Progressive, but we could be. Anyway, I liked it. They treated me really, really well, and actually their customer service is really neat. But they had that little snapshot thing where they give you this tool.
Oh,
plug it
you
into
did
your
that?
car. Yeah, you do it because you do it for 6 months. It evaluates your driving, and if it'll lower your insurance. It did. It knocked $2.50 off a month, which isn't a whole lot. But
and then they got a whole bunch of data off of you.
no, we're not eating Dayton. I know it looks like that.
We are not eating Dayton.
I'm just kidding.
He's eating a Sonic drive-through chicken strips.
Yeah.
Fuck you, chicken strips.
We're all big Sonic fans. We're not sponsored by Sonic, but we could be.
We're available.
Hey, Sonic. Anyway, so all it turned out, yeah,
Yeah, of course I am.
But all it did was check your braking. So if you broke hard, which really pissed me off because it wasn't always my fault. Like,
Yeah, of course not.
Well, the first time it ever happened,
It doesn't register. It doesn't see any of that
of
context.
course
That's
not.
why
It
you should
doesn't anything.
never
It's like
do
you just-
that.
Well, I didn't know that, so I had it plugged in. You do it for 6 months, and then it sees how many times it beeps or whatever. And it beeped in different intervals. I found out because once, like, I just kind of I wasn't paying attention. I kind of came to a quick stop, and it was like, deep deep. I'm like, oh, you motherfucker, you're a brake checker, huh? Somebody cut me off in traffic bad one time, and I had to slam my brakes on. It was like, doo-doo-doo-doo. Made this like weird, like multiple beep thing, and I was like, oh, that was a big one, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
You can't disconnect it though. It had to like show, it had to register a certain amount of driving per week, or it didn't count. And I was like, I'm like, oh, this thing is shackled to me.
Yep. It's that I saw that happen. I'm like, and I knew how insurance companies worked. I'm like, that is the worst thing you can
It
possibly
was
do.
free data for them about me that I did.
And they gave you $2.
They did. It did lower my rate. They were right. It could lower your rate. It said when you get it to, it's like, don't hook this up unless you think that you're a safe driver.
All
I
right.
was like, I'm a great driver. I drive so great. I stop so much. It almost made me want to like wreck just because I'm like,
We were
I'm
talking
gonna
about
stop.
Cackle earlier.
Yeah.
Your sad
Fucking
loss
Cackle.
of that
I bet if I
sidekick.
had these, I would have lost in a different manner.
Still
Actually,
have them,
I did already have those. I didn't roll.
Okay.
I know. They go into my dice bag at the end of every session.
And you have not used them ever. I think you rolled them once
played
on
with
the
them.
staircase.
I played with them to make noise, but I wasn't doing anything with them except watching the rolls. I wasn't asking them if anything, or wasn't.
You're gonna hold on to those for so long, and then you're just gonna use them. You're gonna come into a big moment.
You're wrong. It's gonna be great. It's not gonna be nothing. It's gonna be fantastic. You guys are gonna totally be like, "What?"
If they're just regular dice, it'd be fucking.
That'll be even more epic. Where you're like, "Oh, you won!" It's
Well,
just regular dice.
their description was specific as well. They were of a gambler.
Mhm.
They were a gambler's dice, successful gambler who was killed in his sleep.
Yep.
Yeah.
I literally was like, okay. Like he was describing like,
What?
No.
Where are you that you don't have a
Well,
Sonic?
near him, there's Sonics everywhere. Are there Sonics in your state at least? There's got to be. Sonic was my mom's favorite, so
You
I grew
like
up.
Wise County, Texas, or something.
I grew up on this stuff. We're not sponsored by Sonic, but we could be. Well, Sonic,
It used
that
to
would
be
be
a
great.
tradition that we had Sonic every week before our session.
I'm sorry.
No. You work. Like, I totally get it. All right, so you go and wake up
I like the
Rofrost.
commercial.
All right, Rofrost, you are awoken by your master. You're a soldier. You don't.
Yeah. Yes.
Ooh, that's a travesty.
Where's my armor? Hello, my lord. You're bright and early today.
There was a knock on the door.
I didn't hear it. Did you
Mine
answer
Clearly.
You're my favorite descriptor. What are you doing here?
Did you answer it? You shouldn't do that if I'm
I
unconscious.
did. Well,
Well, what happened? What if it was an assassin, my lord?
it was apparently a page for Lord Neverember.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, right, Neverember. Not November.
Not
Well,
November.
Grey Cloaks didn't kick him out yet, huh?
Apparently, they've been waiting for us to come back.
Oh, no, not the Grey Cloaks, but the other.
It makes sense that you don't understand what's going on.
Just,
They've been waiting for us to come back,
I just woke up.
but they were getting kind of discouraged since it's been a month. So,
So it really has just been that long. I thought there was just these people in the tavern being idiots.
I told them we would meet with Lord Neverember by midday,
Yeah,
and we had some interesting things to tell them.
we sure do. When you see anything about that crown, though, they'll probably want to know about that crown. When you see shit about a crown.
What crown?
The crown of... That's the whole reason that...
I think you went back too far.
No.
Are you thinking of a different game?
No, I'm not.
Because East Rock stole a crown that was really big.
No. I know what you're talking about. That's not what I'm talking about.
There is a crown in Neverwinter or Castle Never
He
somewhere.
didn't ask us, but he'll probably say, so, did you happen to find anything about my crown?
Oh no, that's down in the Neverneath though.
In the crypts. Yeah, but we were gone for a month, and we're great adventurers, and they expected great things from us.
But you weren't going that way.
No, we weren't.
They actually told you specifically to not go in the Neverneath.
But it's a big noble thing, so the noble in our party should probably know about it. That might come.
He
up
knew about it. He also knew that everyone agreed you weren't going that way.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm still going to bring it up. Just saying. Just what my character says, because that's what he thinks of nobles. That they're all about their crowns and bullshit.
It's true. Right. I don't know why we're talking about a crown, but so
just thought I'd bring
we
it
need
up.
to be over there. So start preparing yourself.
Wait now. What do you think of my breastplate? Is this okay to wear in polite company? It's a bit dented. I think it's great.
It's got a history to it.
Who said that?
Yasa.
Yasa.
What are you doing in this room?
What did you get in this room?
She was just passing by on the way to the washroom.
Yeah, it's like, I hate it when she does that. It's weird. Makes me uncomfortable. But it's okay. It's kind of cool, actually. Bit anime. Alright. Yeah, I'll be ready. Where's our sailor?
I just saw my title for the section where you guys going to Castle Never. I love it. I still love it.
Okay.
It's Castle Never, ever, ever getting out alive.
I wish you'd never shared that with me.
And you didn't. You're still in there.
I didn't what?
Get out of Castle Never.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're in a beholder's dream
Beholder
right now.
trap right now.
Yeah.
Mind trap. Okay.
Well, I don't know what I'm going to say. I'll just get ready. I don't want to bring up anything that would be policed with the gods in my head.
Guess we would go to Zeranak and Ayasa's room, let them know.
I can't believe we made that out here. I can't believe we made it out alive. Did the big dragon speak to you at all?
No. Hey.
I'm downstairs drunk with the degenerates.
Well, then,
I'm asleep at a table that I was gambling at
we'll
last
find
night.
you on the way then.
Has Bahamut reached out to you at all since we found this map? Or?
They're talking to me. I'm like,
No, not definitely not you.
You're like, has Bahamut reached out to you about your drinking?
No.
About your drinking? No, no. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't think you would. I don't know how it works, honestly. But just thought I'd ask. It's interesting. Yes. I'll be ready. Should I leave? Do you need the room to yourself?
No, it does need to do with morning prayers and all that stuff, but you can do that as well, because you need to do it too.
I didn't ask you, Iyasa. Let the prince speak for himself. Yeah. I'll just shuffle my way out there and try to find the sailor.
Two at the bar, one at the bar, right?
Role play.
It's pure alcohol tonight.
He's done 2 at the bar.
1 at the bar.
1 at the bar.
And this is my second drink here.
Second hard liquor drink here.
We're not sponsored by Smirnoff, but we.
I'm generally role playing an idiot. So.
What's your intelligence?
10. I figure it's average intelligence in a medieval Europe.
I'm fucking smart.
Well, your average intelligence, but your charisma and your strength,
I'm
way too high.
Weirdly
way
charming.
too
I'm weirdly charming.
No, you're weirdly overbearing.
Beefy.
Right?
Yeah.
You have that righteousness.
Yeah.
I know I'm right.
Yeah.
Well, what is
Are
your
you?
Intelligence?
Yeah. Obviously. Look at me.
10 is not good.
10 is average.
Oh, wow. I'm smart as fuck.
Yeah, well, you're a magic user. Ayasa has a 19.
Yes, I can
An
read.
18.
I'm well versed, actually. I'm a soldier.
Yeah.
I think I might be playing Zeranak
Prestigious
wrong a
clan
little bit.
golden.
No.
I can read. I've done it
You're super
a
clever.
number of times in my
Xernex has
life.
been super clever.
Yeah, I get it. I'm just saying.
And you're also worldly.
Well, I'm not thinking about his stats though when I make decisions. That's something I'm not thinking about.
That's all.
Because I'm not as Isrock was so charismatic.
You have a pretty high charisma. No?
All of us.
Intelligence
He's the pretty one.
Well,
He's
all
wearing
of
his
us are-
cape
he's
and
plus
stuff.
5.
Yeah,
Yeah, all of us are fairly charismatic.
I'm just quick and
except
smart.
for Yasa.
I'm just saying. I just
We're
need
just
to
a
keep that in mind.
Golden
Yeah.
glowing party of
No, you guys are on
posing.
a mission from Gad.
We're on a mission for Gad.
So,
chicken.
going back, by the way, just as a quick explanation, all this stuff, there's spells there's spells you prepare. We all know this. Like, you have the full run of every paladin spell out there, and you can prepare different ones every day. You have your standard assortment of combat spells. I just want to go over, give you the option, because we've been glossing over it. Do you want to change any spells out that you have prepared for this day? Like going into a court, you're in a city, or it might not be a combat day or anything like that. Like, is there something you might want to change or look up?
A whole list of paladin spells to pick from.
Yeah. You just go to abilities. No, you can't see it there readily. You'd have to go to the edit version. But, like, if you needed to or wanted to, you could switch out some spells to do other things. And I'm only bringing this up because, you guys have options, and I understand you pick spells to prepare for your worst case scenario combat situations, but going into situations like a day in the city could be different.
Situations.
You have a set of spells that you know and prepare.
I only have these.
Yeah. Ayasa has a little bit more. She has a spell book worth, and she prepares from that.
No, I get it.
These guys have
all.
Oh, no, I understand.
Yeah.
I was actually reiterating him, which was silly because he's played longer than I have.
He does, and he's.
I see what you were.
He's got such a hard one to play a wizard and try to get spells and have this huge book and be super utilitarian.
You should just play wizard next time.
You do. It would be fantastic, but and I just want to kind of reiterate, like, you're a priest. You're the most utilitarian spellcaster out there because you have all spells. You don't have to find them like a wizard does.
It is fun how you fall into stuff though, because I already think ahead. Like if we play another game, I'm like, what kind of rogue would I make? Wait, I mean, what kind of character would I make a rogue? I mean, how would I play my next rogue? Like, I can't get away from the idea of it. Yeah. I
had a friend, like I said, my friend Jared always played rogues, and it was like every game's like, oh, I feel like I should play something else. And I'm like, well, no one else is itching to play a rogue, and you like are the quintessential rogue thinker of the group, and you love to play it.
Yep. That's what made
just play it.
That's what made Shadowrun so fun. Where it was like, you gave us all the class lists, all the different shit, and I was like, man, there's a lot of stuff in here. I want to be the face. And everyone's like, what? Do the face. So I was like, all right, cool face. What a silly character.
6, you are dumb and pretty. Like, that's it. That's all you have going for you. And you're good at games of chance or games of skill, like pool and.
What's the guy that
like
plays...
you're a fucking like card shark at a.
You're like Slater from Saved by the Bell. Damn, that's a handsome moron. Did you roll your character?
I am fairly lenient in my rolls, by the way. Like, I do not like stats under 10 for heroes. I do like the humble beginnings, but I don't like remedial stats. It's a weird thing about me. Like, you are supposed to be heroes.
Yeah,
like, so sense. I do not like.
Well, it's like when we played Dark Sun, and I was like, hey, let's random roll our characters. I'm like, human wizard. I'm like, I won't play that.
I got my court list. I'm going to take command, cure wounds, detect evil, protection from evil, and then my second level spell is going to take zone of truth and protection from poison.
Well, you have zone of truth as a. So you have to remember you have domain spells. Zone of truth is one of your domain spells. Ooh, yeah.
Was it devotion? Yeah, devotion, am I? Yep. Protection from evil, zone of truth. Oh yeah, those are both. Yeah.
So swap those out. You already have those memorized all the time.
Yeah. Or prepared.
Prepared. You have those always prepared. Perpetually prepared.
Perpetually prepared.
Perpetually prepared.
And you can look at your card deck. Like, if you just pull 1 through 3, those are yours.
He has a piece of equipment that caused his intelligence drop.
No, why
Ooh,
would you
I'll
do
take
that?
The deck of
poison.
many.
Oh, the deck of many things? Deck of many items? Deck of many things or items? One day, I will give these guys a deck of many things.
Don't you fucking dare.
It'll be hilarious.
I feel like we're not ready for shit like that.
Now, I'm not saying these guys as in this group, like the Dragonborn campaign. One day, as a group, these guys will be playing, and they will encounter a deck of many things.
Locate object, then. And detect poison.
Okay. So, what are your spells?
My spells I'm taking are Command, Cure Wounds, Detect Evil, Detect Poison, and then Protection from Poison and Locate Object, I guess.
And then you have Zone of Truth and Protection from Evil as domains.
Protection from Evil, Sanctuary, Lesser Restoration, and Zone of Truth.
Nice. Alright. Do you want the player's handbook just like look through your large spells, or is that fine?
No, I mean, that's all right here. I mean,
He's
part of me is
smarty
thinking because we're going to go talk
there's
to people
rest.
that maybe I should drop Mass Healing Word, which I just took tonight. Maybe just take tongues. In case the dwarves want to target the dwarvish, I can be like, oh, what?
Yeah. So you can, in tongue, like, I know the way it used to be. In the new one,
-4.
is it directed, or is it you just speak all languages?
Grants creature you touch the ability to understand any spoken language.
So you touch that, like if you're going to go into a court and someone wants to talk shit behind your back or talk dealings and stuff like that, like you can touch yourself and know all languages, and that's really
Touch yourself.
giggity. The Divinals. God damn, that video was so hot. When I think about you, I touch myself.
Oh, man. Yes. 100% agree.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead and do that.
Alright, and you don't have to change it on that. You can just remember it, because having your combat set up as your general thing. Any other changes? Second and third, or second and first level?
I really want to play Wizards so bad. I know clerics are more. So there's something about Wizards, how they can like find a spell and copy it in the book. It's like so exciting, that thought to me.
That's me with the rogue. I'm like, I can do anything.
Yeah, you can.
Like, fuck you guys, I'm out of here.
Yeah,
I'm climb still. I'm gonna sneak away. I'm gonna unlock. I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
Where's the traps? I don't know. I fucked up. That fucking balcony is going to break.
Little fighter companion. And meditate on the question.
Yeah, that sounds like a deck of many things. Because a deck of many items is literally you pull a card and it turns into an item. Where a deck of many things is...
They're basically wishes, like preset wishes.
There's one that...
He also has the obvious lose of intelligence, which is a perfect typo.
With the 6 intelligence.
And obviously the lose of intelligence.
Lose of intelligence.
I gave this to one group I had, and they were kind of like you guys, like purpose set for being epic adventurers. And like one of them was you draw a card and 4 deaths appear and try to kill you, and they attack the priest. And I think he turned them all. Because they're essentially undead. Like, he destroyed 3 of them and wiped out the 4th.
Dude, that's big magic, big mojo. They can really mess.
It can do some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Alright. So you got your setup, and that's the only switch you're making? Okay, you got your setup. So, you... After Ifa comes, you have the conversation with him. They go and wake you guys up, Ayasa and you, who are still
Ayasa's
doing
been pacing around the hallways, nagging me.
nagging you. She's like been to the washroom 3 times.
Stop bothering the kids about this.
You get Rumblethane up.
Rumblethane. Guess
Seems
what?
like the scariest one to wake up.
It's your second day alive again.
Is there anything?
Experience any days dead.
Is there anything specifically you guys want to do? Research, talk about before you go back to Neverember's court.
I want to take a bath.
Well, yeah. I'm assuming you're all cleaning up and getting ready. And...
That was assumed. Okay.
Just one more shot of port.
Research? I mean, I don't know. Not really, to be honest. Like, I'm like kind of interested, like any development in this political kind of strife going on here. At the same time, I guess we'll fucking find out when we get there. I guess.
I would just talk to Rumblethane and be like, "Hey, when you talk to these people, Neverember and
Graybender,
they're not going to believe that you're alive right now. Like, makes no sense that you're alive right now.
We won't let them
they're
pinch
going to
you.
believe that he's alive. I think they're going to have trouble believing the story of where he came from.
Well, yeah, okay, so maybe they won't believe who he is, who he claims to be.
Don't correct the prince in front of the dwarf.
I'm not even
I'm
here.
not a prince.
Oh.
And I'm also not here. You are a prince, I thought.
I'm a former prince.
Oh, Jesus. Fucking princes in the...
Did you know
I'm not a prince
do you know the
anymore.
son of a prince is called a princess as well? You could be a princess.
Anyway, just want to give Rumblethane a talk that, like, your position's kind of weird, and so don't, like, take offense or be, like, caught off guard by the reaction that the people we're going to go talk to right now are going to have towards you.
okay.
How does that make you feel?
You don't know dwarves.
I don't. You might be the first one I've met. I've met lots of short people. I don't know if they're short humans or there's I think there are gnomes that exist. I don't know.
That's incorrect, by the way. Prince's son is still called a prince.
Is incorrect?
Yes, a son of a prince is still a prince.
Well,
It's,
I mean,
it's
in what culture? Because maybe
English
it's
culture.
maybe it's a Danish thing, maybe it's a Welsh thing. Maybe it's
in the English culture, it's prince is masculine and princess is feminine.
That's English.
Yeah, the language we use. So
We. Okay, Fringe Lord.
French.
French.
Fringe Lord.
Oui.
Fringe Lord.
We call la princess sans princesse.
You're probably too drugged to remember the Fringe Lord.
No, I know the conversation. It's just not going to stick. It's not going to happen.
You wanted me to go on
Stop
Reddit
making
and
a
make that
thing.
happen.
I know, because I wanted you to make a fool out of yourself.
All right, so you're heading off to the court of Neverember.
God damn. All right.
Is this correct?
This is correct.
On the way, as you're heading up towards Survivor's Enclave and Neverember's court, you're running into some of the guards you schmoozed with the nights before as you're doing research.
Where I learned about the great cloaks and all that.
And as you're waiting, in the lines or whatever, they come up and buddy with you.
They thought we were dead.
Like, great to see you back, this and that. Neverember's had us, all on the lookout for you, especially any guards in rotation around the castle.
Yeah, really?
Good to see you back, this and that. Like, oh yeah, there's some noble here that I guess learned about you guys and is really interested in meeting you.
Really? From where?
Gray something. Some mountain range somewhere.
I say, how queer. Do you know the name? Well,
We're just guards.
I mean, just figure that out. Yeah,
He's
I make a joke about the fucking brass.
and you run into several, like, when you run into guards that are in the know, they all pretty much have the same story. But what you get from them back and forth, and depending on their biases, this noble is a tiefling.
Oh, what? Like a demon person?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think we've had any influence.
I don't know
with
if you've
tieflings
actually
at all.
met one yet.
I don't think we've met one, but we have a history with.
I mean,
We have a history with infernals and shit like that.
Well, you know what they are.
Yeah.
They're in your city, on your ports, and you've had dealings with them. You know what they are.
Okay.
You've met them. You've crewed with them. They're out there, but this is something a little bit more new to the rest of the group. So.
You think it's hard for them to be nobles?
And there's some
eating babies,
and like there's some that like go,
no heirs.
oh, there's this noble, blah blah blah. Yeah, he's a tiefling. And there's some like he's a tiefling. You can't trust them. Like the biases against that race.
We can hear that open.
Because they're talking to him. Yeah, you guys all get the skinny of this as you're waiting at different gates or checkpoints or stop on your way to Neverember's court. They're chatting up with him.
Do they look like ass? Like, do you get excited, or do they look like a featherless vulture? Were they bird-like?
Most of them actually haven't seen them.
Nah, that's too bad.
One of them says he caught a glimpse of them when he first came in.
I started telling stories about the demons, the
rocks and stuff like
that. Yeah.
Nothing like that.
Yeah.
So, as you make your way towards...
I'll skinny that, by the way. Guys.
And I can't remember what his court is.
Lord,
it's not in the...
You have
the palace itself.
Collar.
But as you make your way up there, there's, of course, nobles and visitors and petitioners and all kinds of... Like, the entire grounds of the court is just packed.
Just because I'm new, this is a tiefling, right?
Yeah, you just type in TIE.
Well, you thought I'm just saying it's like
FLNG.
Demon and like human demon kind of mixed thing.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So
I'm just making sure that I know what I'm talking about.
To give you a context of Tiefling, Genasi, Dragonborn, what you are. So there's in the old game there's humans, dwarves, elves, half elves. So there was the half races, but everything was pretty strict. In D&D as it's evolved, there's now these new races which are touched races.
Mm-hmm.
So to go over how that works in your context, to give you context of how that happens, is this. A dragon takes human form, polymorphs to a human, and mates, has sex with a human.
That's what mates means.
I know.
Yeah, mates is a weird word to talk about when you're talking about people.
Yeah,
humans.
no, I get it.
Yeah.
So, has sex and has a child with that. It comes out as a half dragon. And a half dragon looks kind of like the worm spawn. Like they have real like dragon heads on human-like bodies. But these half dragon, if there's enough of them and they breed, or they breed with humans, they make dragon-esque people. You are descendants of half dragons.
No, I get it.
Down. So you are dragon-touched humanity.
Mm.
In the same way, if a demon were to come into the realm and breed with a human, they make a half-demon. And if half-demons were to continue to breed, eventually that becomes tieflings.
Gotcha.
And there's other things to the whole. But to explain how, but there's entire stories of kingdoms that made pacts with demons, and all their children came out like that, and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just, half-orcs are a race amongst themselves. They keep breeding amongst themselves. They keep making half-orcs. But half-orcs themselves are actually descended from real one parent is a human, one parent is an orc.
Gotcha.
Type of thing.
I found Easter egg.
Yeah. So
that's weird, right? Were you expecting this, my lord?
So that's weird.
weird.
Are they expecting what?
No one's expecting the Spanish Inquisition.
Gets Easter egg.
I don't know. Oh,
So
shit.
the half elf?
Nice.
All right. So as you get up closer
That's
to,
what his eye looked like. No wonder.
No.
as you get
Most
closer up to
failed
the
roll ever
Protector's
succeeded.
Court, like I said, it's pretty packed. There's a bunch of people, and you're just walking up there on your own. And some of the guards know you, some of the guards don't. They kind of direct you where to go. You get roadblocked by others. But eventually you get to a place where it's kind of like a big kind of waiting chamber. There's a bunch of people, very there. You see some peasants and some middle class folks here clustered up, but for the most part, these are nobles and courtesans and professional, racketeers and merchants, people with purpose in a court, all schmoozing and trying to get their voices heard and their wants met by the lords. And you're stuck in this whole place. You kind of don't know much where to go. When all of a sudden, all these little tiny fireworks fly up into the air and go... And it says, Goldath, with an arrow pointing down.
Oh, look. That's our clan name.
And people kind of like look up and like look around and part. And you see, well, you all see this tiny blonde gnome. You see Ifa. And she's like, and like fireworks are shooting out of her hands.
Oh, she's doing it.
I'm just shocked that Rofrost can read.
So that's a tiefling.
Well,
No, it's...
Oh.
She's a gnome, right?
yeah.
Oh. Well, she definitely seems to be expecting. Oh, we should go.
Sorry, I didn't realize Rofrost was asking that. I thought you were.
No.
I was like, he clearly said blonde gnome.
So,
My bad, I was no, this is a gnome.
hi. Oh, I'm so glad you made it here. You guys want any refreshments?
Corrosive vomit.
Yes. Corrosive vomit.
Breath weapon.
We're-
Xernex always wants
I
refreshment.
was just say, like, these guys probably want something. I'm good.
So,
That's your in character. Maybe these guys, I'm good, whatever.
you know what she does immediately, but she looks over and you see through the crowd there's a servant, you know, like with the tray of food and all that stuff, and you see her go, and you know that she's doing massage, like pew, pew, pew. She like throws like 3 messages out to 3 of these people, and you see them like all the people like beeline it through the crowd to come over and bring you nectars and snacks and stuff.
One of them goes, not again! Get out of my
Stop it,
house."
Aoife! And she's like,
Why is it always porno?
did you tell her about the dwarf or not? You just told...
The dwarf about this.
No.
Yeah, okay. It's
I
like,
just told to tell her, Lord, like, we have information. There's
and
a
she's like,
surprise.
I'm so glad you're all... Oh, he's new. What's his name?
He's not new.
He's not new?
Oh, I'm sorry. I should let you... Forgive me, Lord.
We call him Logbeard. He's part of the information we have for the Lord.
Get an inspiration for pulling out his nickname in front of everybody. And he actually just nods.
Does he
Like,
still have locks in his beard?
Yeah.
he actually, the
Yeah.
lock he unlocked and threw,
Yeah, that's
like
what
the
I-
next morning, he was braiding back that bit of hair
Yeah.
and padlocking that with a new lock.
Cool.
Cool.
Sweet. So, you say you call him Lockbeard, and you said what else?
He's part of the surprise.
Surprises! Oh, I love surprises. Neverember doesn't really like surprises. He's been kind of ambushed by assassins too many times. Is he from the castle? Are you from the castle? I'm sorry, I'm so rude talking to you like you're a third person. Rumble thing, because like, I was in the castle.
It was long
Oh
time.
my god. Amazing. You want to... I mean, I can get you guys to the front of the line. Anytime you want, just let me know. I'll take you in there.
Yeah, we should do that.
Now? Alright, now.
What about refreshments?
You have them in your
We
hand.
have them, okay.
I was like, I'm already eating.
Go. Alright, let's go. She like starts hopping through the crowd. Excuse me, pardon me. And she makes like little popping, whistling sounds come out of nowhere, like and like people are like, what the whoa, and just like parting ways. And she moves you guys up into the main chamber, which you've been to before, but it was a lot quieter than they were in a private session. This is kind of just one of the normal open days of taking inquiries from the folk. And you guys move up in there. You see, as the crowd kind of parts in front of you, all the usual suspects. So you have Lord Neverember. Lord Protector DeGalt Neverember, along with General Sabine and Mayor Solman Galt.
You did have the mayor's name down if you had Sabine.
Galt, General Sabine, Mayor Solman Galt. Yeah.
And you also see several other folks there, some Grey Cloaks.
Was he there too?
He sponsored us. Graybender was there, yes?
Graybender is there.
He was the first one you mentioned.
Yeah.
Galdar Graybender, the thrice crowned Speaker of Gauntlgrim. You also, you do not see those two Grey Cloaks that helped you, but you do see both City Guard, who you knew are the Mintarn mercenaries, and you see Grey Cloaks.
Okay.
Both in attendance as well. You don't know who they are, but they're well armored and geared, so they're obviously upper echelons of their orders. But the moment Neverember and Graybender see you, they both just clear the hole and just kind of get all the normal food, the riffraff. Still wait. They're not kicking them out, but they're calling you forward, opening up the floor to you guys. DeGalt looks like he's trying to he walks forward and stops at a position okay, you come up and present yourself, but Graybender just kind of blusters past him, slams down his staff again. The thing just sits and twirls on its own as he walks up and puts out his hand to you.
Oh, to me?
Yep, just the... I was welcome back!
It's my favorite thing to do.
The Sex Panther sound.
He does that to the entire group, welcomes you all back, and then looks at Lockbeard, looks at and it's there's some quick Dwarvish exchange between each other. One of you speaks Dwarven, right?
Oh, I don't think any of this speaks Dwarven.
I think one of you actually has an additional language, I thought.
I do, but it's Elvish.
It's Elvish. Okay.
I have Common Draconic.
So,
I speak Common.
Yeah, you do. It's you. So they exchange some Dwarven between each other, and then in common at the end, Rumblethane, Lockbeard says, "It's best to hear the story from the dragon's mouth."
His name should just be Dragon. His name should just be Lockbeard at this point.
It's best you hear the story from the dragon's mouth itself. And he nods at you. Neverember looks kind of looks like that reluctant, maybe I should have gone up and shown more appreciation, but he's trying to be the stand-up king, not show this kind of...
You're not going to let me do all the talking, my lord, are you, huh? I think it's your time to shine,
You have the most charisma, but...
Oh, that's not my station.
True.
It's not my station.
Get up there, my lord, you got this, give it the old way, 1, 2, huh? Show us the old portly etiquette.
So who am I talking to then?
You tell us.
The dwarf?
You can talk to either or both.
He's not deciding who you're talking to.
Neverember is the ruler of the city you're in. You were sponsored by...
But so were we actually where Neverember is now? Because he stood back.
He stood back, and Graybender came up and greeted you personally.
Yeah.
But the court is cleared out. It's you facing Graybender, Neverember, Sabine, Sol.
We're standing in a giant room, but we're within earshot of everybody that he just mentioned. They're all right around.
Yeah, you tell me and it is important who you tell the story, who you were talking to at any given time, or if you're talking to or addressing the room. So those are all very important details of interaction.
So don't
Would you prefer I introduced you to the court, my lord?
Well, I start telling the tale, looking at, but speaking loud enough that, I know everyone can hear me, to
Remember?
No.
Greybender.
Thank you. I don't know why I can't remember
the,
the fucking name.
the thrice crowned.
Greybender.
Galdar the Greybender, the thrice crowned, speaker of
I just want
Gauntlgrim.
to go G-name.
All it takes is one mess up. That's why I couldn't get Rocknug's name right. That's why I keep
Like-
calling him
like
something different.
Carefully
I don't know what it
crafted
is.
NPC you spend so much time on, you pick out a name
Lockbeard.
meticulously. Lockbeard! No, Lockbeard is fantastic, though. Like, that
I
is
mean, the
great.
dude has beard, or has locks in his beard.
So,
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, Greybender is who I'm looking at while I am talking.
all right. And you speak what story? The entirety of it, or just the end?
Add some beholder, it makes us look good. I said add some beholder, it makes us look good.
Really? You think the beholder encounter makes you look good?
I would just be telling him about
We survived.
You sold out a whole bunch of people that were turned to stone.
Wait a
Also
minute.
evil.
No, I would just be telling
That
him
was the
about
underhanded
why Rumblethane / Lockbeard is here with us right now. That's what I'd be telling him. That's why I'm looking at Greybender.
Once you tell the story of Lockbeard's liberation from pretty much purgatory, Lockbeard steps forward, Rumblethane steps forward, and does his full introduction speech, which is about 10 minutes long, of him declaring who he is, who he's sons of, the deeds of his ancestors, his deeds, and his position in Gauntlgrim. It is quite an impressive display, and you realize, like, all the humans are kind of like, okay, like, we're just standing around for all this.
Meanwhile, Rofrost is like, I gotta up my introduction.
You're like, I got a chubby. For you guys, like, with your history of how you you
we're
treat
digging
ancestors
it.
and all that,
Yeah.
it's pretty impressive, and
Yeah.
it seems well practiced. And, like, Greybender, you can see, is even, like he's standing stoic, he's doing his duty during this interaction, but he's, like, you can see him, like, tearing up, like, hearing this from this man. And understanding who it is.
Or Greybender.
Greybender listening to Rumblethane give his full Old Kingdom introduction.
He probably studied that introduction.
Oh yeah, like he's read that in a history book somewhere. And like Greybender's even like, impossible, amazing, it's destiny. He reaches back and grabs his staff. You're just sitting there spinning, ringing, and just picks it up and slams it flat onto the ground before Lockbeard and kneels before it and says, Gauntlgrim's gates are yours once more.
Oh shit, he abdicated his throne?
He's just an ambassador.
Oh, wow.
Someone else is on the throne of Gauntlgrim, and Gauntlgrim... Lockbeard was never the king.
Yeah.
He was just the gatekeeper to a very specific area.
That's right. This book is fantastic. I'm doing this next time.
But,
It's great. I love having this.
oh yeah.
Every time we
Everyone
flip back,
should have
we're like,
this.
I know it was silly that we didn't do it this time.
And there's back and forths between the two of them. Very dwarven, very I appreciate what you're giving to me, but I must earn my place back once more. Them both kind of blustering to see who could be the most manliest dwarf, in the room type thing. And also like honoring each other's positions.
As this is going on, I'm looking out for any tieflings.
Make a perception check.
You're all about the tieflings next
He's like, I heard about our type.
Somebody's looking for our lord, and I'm his
We
protector.
gotta keep out.
Hey.
I'll take how about that? It's going to be a
About that.
22? Yeah, 22.
Yeah. So very quickly at the onset of you guys taking the court, and you start to give your introductions probably within the first 15 minutes of all the storytelling and the back and forth and pleasantries and honorifics. Someone made their way through the crowd and basically parted up to the front, and it is obviously a tiefling. And I'm going to do a quick aside to anyone watching this now or in the future. I say tiefling. I know it's tiefling. I can't say tiefling. So many things.
What was I saying?
So you were saying tiefling.
You're saying tiefling. You're saying it right.
Well,
but like,
started this.
I can't.
I used to say tiefling until you started saying
Wars
that.
trained me that TIE is tie. TIE fighter. You know.
I wear a tie. Yeah.
So. That's tiefling. That's tiefling to me. And tiefling sounds like a fairy that steals your carbonated beverage or your caffeinated beverage.
I would highly suspect a tiefling to steal my carbonated beverage. So.
Yeah, so I say tiefling. That's just the way I do it. I know I'm wrong. I still say it perfectly.
I've always said tiefling, but I find myself naturally just saying tiefling now.
Yeah.
It's weird because tiefling doesn't make any sense from our perspective because it's not Germanic. When you have romance, it's tiefling, so tiefling. With the Germanic, it's tie. It's tiefling.
Oh yeah.
So it becomes that weird bullshit.
Yeah, of course.
That's where we got the diphthong. Diphthong is a combination of two letters. AI is I, IE is E, or tie also. So IE is I. Yeah, long vowels, that kind of thing. Actually, it would be yay. So tiefling it's weird, whatever. But yeah. So this is
he's a teacher, so
he's linguistics.
Also, I had a couple drinks. So I'm like,
so
let's describe diphthong.
I say tiefling. So he is obviously a tiefling. He is obviously a lord.
Okay.
He is red-skinned. Red-skinned, black-haired. He has an impressive rack of black horns. They go
two.
Yes, both, and they are both uniform. They go up and out and around and kind of point out upish. He has an ornamentation on them, which looks specifically made, and you have no idea how he gets them on, but they look silver that turn to gold at the tips, and they wrap around his horns. He is in finery. A very finely woven mesh shirt, which almost looks like elven chain, but different. Its pattern is more intricate. And it is also, it has a collar with bindings through it, with some ornamentation along its fringe. He wears a silk shirt over that, which is open, and then robes or a vest, which are silk and red with very intricate bindings to them. Very well made. He doesn't carry any weapons upon him. Knee-high black leather boots with gold rivets, eyelets, with his laces. He looks very impressive.
Dapper Dan over here. All right. So, I kind of want to cast a spell, but I don't know if I do want to cast it.
Okay, what is it?
Well, I was kind of wanted to, because we're kind of out here. Somebody looking for us, and there he is. And there's this discrepancy between this the lore is kind of he's kind of have Neverember has got this kind of power play kind of going on here. We address the dwarf here. There's been assassins after him. I'm a little concerned that we're kind of in the centerpiece here. So I wanted to cast Detect Evil, but how obvious is it that I'm casting a goddamn spell?
What are the components?
It's verbal somatic. So am I like
It is that. You do not have subtle spell.
Don't.
As a paladin invoking, it's an invocation. You are asking your god to give you this ability.
Yeah.
So it is not something you can.
Not a subtle thing.
It's not a hush hush.
Yeah.
I would let
Jedi
you
power. Yeah.
Right, I'd let you make a roll to try to make it as subtle as possible, but
I don't know if I want to risk
it would
that.
be really hard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
people watching.
like
I'm just gonna keep my eyes out.
Okay. So after the pleasantries are exchanged between the two dwarves, back and forth, and pretty much what you comes down to is Rumblethane is going to go back to Gauntlgrim with Greybender. Greybender is going to escort Rumblethane back to Gauntlgrim to meet the new king, to find out, it's amazing he's here. He's got to be reintroduced. Things have got to be set back into motion, and this is destiny that he has returned, just as Gauntlgrim has returned. And so that is coming to a close, and the pleasantries of it and the minutia of it are about to engage when Neverember steps forward and kind of takes over, going, okay, they're going to go talk shop. Hey, thank you, congratulations for coming forward, this and that, blah blah blah. Everyone, welcome our heroes back, and everyone gives you thunderous applause.
Yeah, and so in lieu, since I'm not casting a spell, I would like to, since especially with all this going on, because I'm assuming you're kind of in the forefront of us, and we're kind of like.
You guys are all assembled behind him.
Yeah. I kind of want to just subtly kind of tell you, could you message our Lord to pay courtly respects to the present Lord? We don't want to make it seem that we are just.
So just don't be a dick to Lord Neverember.
You should also pay him respect.
This is his court, and it's important. I don't know. That's what Rolfrost said.
Thanks for the hospitality, that kind of.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, so Neverember comes out, and as the doors are getting a little bit too we'll leave on the midday, blah blah blah. This time, they're starting to plan their journey.
Yeah.
Neverember's okay, that's
right.
That's minutia that doesn't need to be presented in court. He steps forward and says, welcome back our heroes, amazing feats of thing that truly is destiny that brought you here to strengthen Neverwinter, and one of the few heroes to venture into Castle Never and return. Not only return, but return with such bounty, such bounty as history itself, and a tie to Gauntlgrim and the dwarves. Big round of applause for everyone. Everyone's like,
huh.
Okay.
I was like,
yes. I realize I'm wearing this armor. I probably shouldn't be wearing it. This might be important to these people. But
it's not. You keep thinking it is. It is
it's
not from Neverwinter.
We're in the Sword Coast.
Sword Coast is a big place. Yeah, you don't know who is that. Yeah. Yeah, big thunderous applause, lots of noise, fanfare, people yeah. Alright. So
very nice.
At the end of it, as the claps and all that sort of dying down, one set of claps continues on, and it's
Tiefling.
The Tiefling. He's steps forward and says, I am so pleased that I am here to witness your return. Lord Neverember has told me so much about you. It is truly destiny that we have all come together here in this one city at this time. I feel that our paths are intertwined. And he steps forward towards Neverember, and Neverember looks down and says, "Ooh."
Do you know it is pronounced Tifa?
Neverember looks down and says, yes, Lord Crane. These are the champions I've spoke of. And it does seem that your paths may be intertwined.
I don't know if I'm going to trade Lockbeard for Lord Crane.
And Lord Crane turns to you and says, well, actually, he doesn't turn to you. Lord Neverember says to you, heroes of Tirmanther, emissaries of Clan Goldath. This is Lord Vinith Crane of the Grey Peaks.
Vinith Crane. Of the what? The Lord Peaks?
The Grey Peaks.
Grey Peaks. The Grey Peaks. I don't think I've been there.
No one here really knows. I mean, like, you guys can roll some history if you want to know anything about it.
Yeah, sure. No.
Oh, we know nothing.
It's not on any major
Hey,
waterways.
oh, maybe, what do you know? What do you got? History.
15?
Hey, maybe.
The Grey Peaks are fairly
Both of us rolled under 10 with our
interior to
bonuses.
the Sword Coast. So, Sword Coast is this down the coast. You guys are way over here on the inner sea. The Grey Peaks are kind of like in that barrier between the inner continent and the Sword Coast. There's not a whole lot going on there. There's no real, like, there's some rivers that kind of go into them. There's some rivers from the midland that go into them or towards them. Actually, no, out from them because they're Grey Peaks. They go towards it. There's some rivers that go from them towards the sea, but nothing that, like, boats would go down, like your sailing vessels. They're just not connected. They're an isolated little set of mountains in the middle of the continent.
So with that small amount of knowledge, like, what importance would their holdings serve?
To you guys, nothing. To Sword Coast, they may have resources that they could have iron and
So we didn't roll high enough to
mountain.
really kind of understand.
Yeah, like,
Okay.
you don't know. You've never heard them as a kingdom or a place that is important.
Okay.
But to the Lord's Alliance on the Sword Coast, they may have valuable resources or something else that is important that they can trade. They're definitely not on the steps of, like, Waterdeep or Neverwinter or Baldur's Gate. Like, they're not a kingdom that is supplying or influencing anywhere that you know of.
They don't have control of the Dayton Gate.
No.
I will say,
Good.
I'll say so an entwined destiny that's quite interesting because as it seemed we have been under the impression that it seems to us that our destiny may be entwined with the paths of the Gondgrims, perhaps. So I'm curious, how would your fate be entwined with my lord, if I may ask?
It is simple to say, yet tragic in our history. Dragons.
Oh, shit. Oh, I don't say oh, shit. I might say oh, shit.
I like that you said it in character. Oh, shit.
I'd give you inspiration if you already...
I know. That was,
Look at it.
I feel like Rofrost did say that.
Yeah, why not?
The Grey Peaks are beleaguered by dragons. There are hardy folk that make their lives around them. The Grey Peaks themselves are rich with resources. Unfortunately, they have been claimed by those evil beasts. They prey upon us. They see us as their property.
True.
It is to my understanding that you are yourselves looking to thwart the schemes of dragons and their cults.
Oh, the history of Tiamat sounds quite similar to that of yours.
What experience have you with cults of these dragons?
Well, some very powerful of their ilk. In particular, a family of red dragons has taken up roost in the Grey Peaks, claim all as their own, take when they want what they want.
Show them the skull of that Drake. Right?
Ilk is a human word. That means
Yeah.
It's in my bag.
So
Yeah.
we,
Sackball skull. Yeah, like this thing.
if it is true that you are looking to create a weapon that can end their threat, even their queen, once and for all, then we wish to help you in any way possible.
allow us to huddle. I'll message you real quick that this seems too convenient.
Well, his message.
We went back immediately. You have no idea. We went back immediately, and we already found the next step. It feels.
By the way, when a whole bunch of people are clapping and applauding you, is a great time to try to cast a spell that has a somatic and verbal component.
I'm not an underhand.
You're
I'm
not that
that at
smart.
all. I'm like, yes.
It is beautiful. As soon as you're like, I was like, applause.
Yeah.
That's why I just mentioned to you that like this seems super convenient. That like we've come right back. We've been introduced to somebody brand
I'm
new.
going to pretty much just give.
And I think we've
So
done.
I'm pretty much
done
going to
this
say,
before.
like you know,
I've expressed the same concerns.
We are here on a quest to.
It hasn't always been
we have
correct.
been out this far from
So far,
Tiamat on
we've been
a
led in
quest
the right direction,
to save our own homeland.
some
It
view
is.
to-
I am certain. I'm certain our Lord and all of us would be touched. Most gracious to accept aid from another. How very thoughtful.
That was perfect too, because Savrat just got the message and Rofrost at the same time. He's like, "What?"
What the hell's going on?
Well,
Why are we talking to the same guy?
Because he doesn't know that I'm talking to you.
Yeah, I guess that's
we in the Grey Peaks, like I said, beleaguered as we are quite wealthy in resources and other matters. I have been sent forth to try to make trade and gather what strength we can to perhaps throw off the tyrants of those peaks. It seems very serendipitous that I come to Neverwinter as you return from this voyage into the castle to find a dragon-slaying implement, something that may stake a claim against tyranny forever.
But as trade,
We are willing to trade.
I'm just joking.
We are connected to Tyrmanthur just as we are connected to the Sword Coast. The rivers of the Grey Peaks flow to the Middle Sea as well. We can make your nation strong as the peaks themselves if we could just get those that take out of the way.
I am certain that is something that we would all wish to be able to accomplish together. However, if I may, my lord, I must admit that our travels are much of a pilgrimage that wanders in hopeful ignorance, that we do not know what we will find when we in our search for whatever this stone may be to have used to help our people. But if it could help our people, perhaps it could help yours. And if we suffer such like troubles and there's prosperity to be had, perhaps this is a serendipitous meeting in behalf. I'm sure my lord would agree.
I believe he is trying to say that down the road this might in fact
Why
be
did you say? Oh, sorry.
may in fact be serendipitous. But until then, we have not that weapon that he says we possess, or you say we possess. We still must forge it. We must test it, gauge it, follow our Lord's Lord.
Graybender and Rumpelthane walk up, or step forward, say, it may be fortuitous indeed, as the road ahead of you is not easy. And Rumpelthane holds out his hand, the map.
Did you get this? I had them.
I think
He's
he's holding his hand up for us to give him.
Oh, I was.
Where did you get this?
He holds out his hand and asks.
That's what he was doing. That's a very fair response.
I was doing
He
it.
holds out his hand and asks for the map.
Is that in my bag? I can't remember.
No, I have it.
Okay.
That's why I was like, wait a fucking minute. Give me this fucking map. That was a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
I'll give you the map when he asks for it.
Remember, you guys were in there with that device, that scroll
Yeah.
from Graybender, and he's asking for it back.
I get it, but, it feels personal at this
Fine,
point.
he hands it to me. I hand it to
So they take it and go, and they show you. So, you guys are in Neverwinter. To the north of you is a town called Icewind Dale. Well, yes, there's a city called Icewind Dale.
You just named it by arguing the DM.
No, that's a real name.
I'm just saying he's like Icewind Dale.
It's actually the city itself is called Icewind.
You're right. That Dale's the region.
Above that is the World Spine Mountains, some of the tallest, most treacherous peaks in the entire world. It forms a barrier. Beyond that is Icewind Dale. And then beyond that is the Great Glacier of the North. So between the Spine of the World Mountains and the glacier, and the glacial cap, essentially, of this continent, is Icewind Dale. The city you're looking for, the forge, Volcalundrel, is in the city of Drunbar, the ancient city of Drunbar, which is on the north face of the World Spine Mountains.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So.
And Volundra?
Wow.
Volcalundrel is.
Volcalundrel.
Sorry, Volcalundrel. The Eternal Forge is what you're trying to get to. It's in the ancient city of Drunbar, Dwarven City.
It is in Drunbar.
Which
It's been written down before, too.
Yeah. This all used to be in the ancient kingdoms of the dwarves.
Yeah. Northern face
of the World Spine Mountains.
Sounds cold.
So that means ice.
Well, it means between you and there, if you were to fly as the crow flies,
Oh boy.
is
Track the eagle.
is the northern lands, like the most coldest, inhospitable lands between you and it. Then impassable peaks. Then on the other side, kingdom, which is beleaguered and cold and tough, and then a hidden or lost city. You know where it is on a map, but finding its gates, getting into it, whole different story. So, as both Rumblethane, actually just Rumblethane, because he knows, he'll explain you have three options. One is to travel to Icewind, then head towards the World Spine Mountains from the south, and you have to find an ancient pass and hope that it still exists. It's an ancient dwarven tunnel that goes through the mountains and gets you to Drunbar. He doesn't even know exactly where it is. He's only visited it once in his youth. And if all this time and displacement are true, there's a very good chance that it is collapsed, iced over completely, or completely infested with the Underdark and horribleness. Who knows if that path even exists anymore.
Okay.
Your other two options, if you want to go by land, or to go towards the desert, Anarok, pass through that at one of the only places where the World Spine Mountains subsist, or subside, and get above it and go into Icewind Dale and try to locate it, or to go by boat up the coast, past Icewind, through the Channel of Frozen Sails, a very treacherous pass because it freezes over even in the summer.
That's why we brought a fire wizard.
Yeah.
Sailor.
Sailor.
To get you to the north, into Icewind Dale, and then mount an expedition to find Drunbar from there. Of all the options, Rumblethane says, that is the least suicidal.
The boat one?
The boat.
Yeah, that's kind of...
But we may be haunted
votes
by
for
the...
boat.
We may be haunted by the dragons of Tiamat themselves. But we'd be quite vulnerable at sea, though, wouldn't we? Stuck in a boat, all the way they would take us, swoop by, blow their gauss of flames upon our vessel, and then that's it. What destiny? What fate?
We would be twice vulnerable in the desert. with no cover.
I agree with that, which is why I think we should travel through land to Iceland and go find the South Pass and try to use our blessings amongst us to find the South Pass.
We head towards a pass that even the ones that point it out do not know of its existence.
Well, we are destined to find it. We've made it this far through prominence, and I just think we're far too vulnerable at sea. We can't risk Lord Savroth on a boat chased by dragons.
Perhaps we have drained our glass of destiny, and we have to go about our own wits.
Lord Crane says, I am ready to charter vessels to take you expertly and safely as possible through the channel of frozen sails.
Xeranax agrees. He always votes boats.
These vessels, have they contended with the foes that, they plague your mountains, so surely...
I will make sure to charter vessels that are indeed savvy with the northern seas.
You just wouldn't want to put your resources to waste on such a treacherous voyage.
Not to waste. An investment for the freedom of my people.
Investment? I like that word. I'll write that down, my lord. What do you think?
I kind of like the boat path.
You can try to charter one yourself. You just don't know how expensive it's going to be and how much that expedition is going to be on its own. Lord Crane even starts speaking he has retainers and a militia with him, a military contingent. They will get you through Icewind Dale because it's not the most hospitable of places, and whatever has beset Drunbar should be no consequence for his troops.
Stroke my chin a bit, and then I'll kind of casually speak in our native tongue to Savroth. And mind you, any decision we make with so many eyes and ears upon us might be listened by people who do not wish to know our plans.
All right.
I was like, does a tiefling speak Draconic?
I want everyone to make me perceptions, and this is kind of going to go back through the entire conversation and what you kind of picked up through all of this. So,
Nice.
Perception. When Mitch gets back, make him roll a perception. I'll be right back.
I'm not perceiving shit. Roll for us, mate.
Maybe. We're getting high on a lot of stuff, man.
I have a ridiculous perception.
You would have heard me sing our native tongue to Savroth as we're debating this. Quite casually try to play it up.
Bingo!
Oh, what'd you get?
Natural 20 plus
baby.
9.
I told you would have heard me say to Savroth. So by the way, there's a lot of eyes and ears here who are listening to any decision we might be making here on the court floor.
Yeah.
That's why this is one of the few times that us arguing about the route is a good idea.
Yeah. These guys. He might in fact be from a dragon-torn land, and if he's a noble, he's a tiefling, he might not have a lot of friends here because people tend not to trust tieflings. He may be in short need for allies, and if there's heroes out there slaying dragons, it is questionable. I agree with that. I almost cast Detect Evil specifically because he was here.
You still can.
It just would seem rude. But I might not care about that. I might want to bless this meeting.
Make a wisdom check.
Alright. Wisdom?
Yep.
That's going to be 24.
Okay. Give you a little aside off camera. It's not off camera though. Just no one else is here. You do remember the last time a noble came out of nowhere and happened to be going the same place you were?
I do.
Right. So, that may have been like a little like
yeah, I know
that comes up when you think about things like this.
It does. It has.
Tell them, hey, give us some time to think, and then
thank you.
Go look and chart.
Oh, thank you. Oh.
You definitely can look on your own.
Sorry.
Oh no.
We could.
I got quiz life.
Oh, cool.
I guess we could.
So,
yeah.
Oh, that's fine.
So
it is.
So yeah, we got 30 minutes. So the four factions. So your contingent from Tyrmanther.
Oh, sorry.
The dwarves from Gauntlgrim, Neverember from Neverwinter, and Crane from Grey Peaks are kind of like you guys are all huddled up in their, not huddled, but in this circle discussing this thing. Like, at this point, Neverember is like he wants to make allies. So you stay in the city for free, all this jazz. He's giving you his protection while here. He wants to, Tyrmanther and the Goldath clan, he wants to form favorable relationships, but he just doesn't have the resources to, sponsor an expedition to the north. He doesn't get anything from it, except for allies, which are great, but you guys are very far away.
That's the kind of thing that we want to build a relationship with, like, as far as trade's concerned. So I'll take on the role of doing that later, but do we need to talk about the
Gauntlgrim, we will in a second.
Sorry.
Gauntlgrim, obviously, he already sponsored you and sent you into the place, got the map from you, and you brought back even a greater resource than the map could ever be on its own. You brought back Rumble Thing. That is huge. Like, they owe you. These dwarves owe you. There's, that is not an if, and, or but, like, that was a big thing you did for them. You can always call on them, kind of a thing. You got a big thing.
Yeah, sorry.
It was only the right thing to do.
And then you have this noble from the Grey Peaks, who, with tales of woe of dragons and dealings with what you assume is the cult of the dragon, if the dragons have such a claw or roost in there that they're seemingly organized, then it could be that that's a staging point for the cult, a safe haven, a place like that. And these people that are living and trying to make their lives and their livelihood around the mountains just getting picked on by these, preyed upon by the dragons and the cult around it.
This really is a blessed meeting, isn't it?
So what were your perceptions?
I got 20. He got a natural 20.
Plus 9.
I got 14.
Okay.
And
it's like I had this great perception bonus of like natural.
Well,
20,
what's the total?
29.
Jesus, man.
Perceptive is shit.
And I want to give a little prayer for this. This really is a blessed meeting, and I will openly Bahamut, if my Lord Savroth Goldath Savroth is your messenger and has brought us here to do these great things in the name of valor and righteousness, and please give us the
pause. Oh, I know. Like, pause real quick.
Right.
So, some things that people have noticed. You got a 20 total on your perception.
Yes.
When Crane came out and came in front of you and was looking over you all like, oh, did this and that, and he was doing his normal assessments. You were interacting with him. You did notice that he took notice of your armor, or appearance in some way. He looked down upon you and kind of
I know.
Impressive.
Yes.
You. Yeah, that's.
Boy, what's going on in court?
You notice that he took notice of your armor. You notice that he's very intent on everything you're saying. Like, all of you are saying, especially, when you were talking about, maybe one day we will, vanquish your dragon, like that. You could see that kind of, yes, but, he was pretty anxious to get back in and
I
talk.
picked that up naturally off that, actually, yeah.
All right.
Well presented. That's what I'm trying to say. Please don't kill me.
The natural 20. This guy walked out here, looked at him, and instantly recognized his breastplate.
Looked at him, okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Specifically his breastplate. Yeah. Specifically his breastplate, and he specifically knows it. It wasn't just.
He was like.
Yeah. No. It wasn't a look of like, oh, impressive. It was a look of, oh, I know that.
That was the Tiefling Lord?
Yeah.
Okay.
This must be from the prequels.
And then you could also tell that he's pretty anxious to get your help or get your buy-in.
I noticed that a while ago.
So
I actually personally noticed that, or I was like, hey, that's what I was messaging Savroth, was that this is too quick and too eager, and like.
Also, when he starts talking about Bahamut and invoking him, there's a tiny bit of like disdain in his eyes, but that could be because he's not religious. He doesn't like that. He is a tiefling.
It's like me. Like I'm like.
Yeah. So now unpause.
Don't want to use this.
Continue on.
Don't want to use this keystone.
Oh my gosh. I am so sorry. I forgot
right.
you got me these amazing dice.
Yours. You don't have to roll if you don't.
So what are you doing? You're speaking to Bahamut.
Yeah. So yeah, truly, if this is the vessel, that we are here to do these righteous things, then please please bestow upon us the sight to see all wickedness, see the wickedness in the trials before us, and I'm basically casting detect evil.
Mm-hmm. Make me.
I like it. Great description.
Me a deception.
Deception?
Because you're trying to hide the spell in there. You're not saying the exact words.
I'm praying for a miracle to happen. Isn't that how I'm supposed to work?
You're trying to like.
I just want to say I'm not trying to.
You're not trying to outwardly show that you're casting the spell. You're not saying, Bahamut, let me detect evil. You're trying to hide it. I just want to see how well you hide it.
Okay.
If you hide it at all. Like, can he tell that you're casting a spell?
We'll see how bad these dice are. Deception?
I mean, I have a pretty good charisma, but I'm not a deceptive guy. It's plus 5, so 16.
16?
16 is not a bad roll. Fifth ed.
Stupid. Look at these popper dice.
Okay.
He totally knows.
Look at these Savroth, our popper dice is Savroth.
I just want to say, like, I mean,
he's totally evil.
It's like super fancy.
Is he?
Yeah,
okay.
100% evil.
Okay.
I am the Lord's.
No, I get it. The big box. I know.
Does he?
I didn't expect it to look that good. I was like,
so
I mean, I'm always going to look at him if I'm seeing like, oh, that's different.
Yeah.
So you detected evil like hardcore, like
yeah.
Yep. He kind of like.
What the fuck is Jan Thippo?
Giant hippo.
He knows.
Yeah, I know. So
don't encourage him.
We only got 30 minutes. Come on.
Sorry.
He's totally 100% evil. And then like he's just kind of like he looks like he's like okay, blah blah blah. And then he looks up.
And I'm looking at him.
How clever.
How disappointing.
Do I have any idea what the hell's going on?
Make an Arcana. You do.
Oh,
You too.
damn it. Fuck me, I'm doing good. My 2 rolls tonight.
Oh,
What was that?
might as well not be here. I got 10.
So what's your Arcana? You don't have any Arcana?
He's got like a +6.
I was 12.
Yeah, it's only +2.
Really?
Fuck, man.
You don't have that as a skill?
No, it's not a
It's not a proficiency for you.
My
I got an
intelligence is
18.
only 14, so it's only +2.
Got an 18.
Yeah, you realized he cast a spell. You're not exactly sure what spell it is, but you know he cast a spell during that prayer.
And now I can. Do I also tell that the tiefling is mad now?
Yeah. Well, he's kind of like, how clever. This and that. How disappointing.
Yeah.
This and that.
And he said, how disappointing.
Yep.
Well,
it is truly serendipitous that you wear that armor, as you will end up the same.
Ooh, it's time. Message you. He knows exactly who your armor belonged to. He recognizes it. He knows whose it is. And
as you'll end up
coveted.
in the same fate.
Would you like to meet that fate now? Perhaps we could settle this in gentlemen. We are at court after all. Would you like to?
Settle this like little two-legged minions as you are.
I very quickly understand what he's implying.
Who is within our presence at this point? Neverember is still here.
So Neverember, Rumblethane, then
we're in court.
Sabine,
We're
Sabine,
everyone is still...
Sabine, the mayor, and there is a group of onlookers, including Tifa and others. But yeah.
What does their reaction seem to be at this point? Before
they have no a lot of them don't really know what's going on.
Okay.
Again, Rumblethane so Rumblethane and Greybender both realize something just changed, and you see both of their stances change.
Because it's what ours is doing.
Yep, and they go very they kind of take a step back.
What is
get a little bit more defensive?
What is Sabine again?
Sabine is the general of Neverember's military.
Okay, so at this point, I would, knowing that everyone else around me can probably handle their shit, I would probably tell Neverember, Neverember, behind me now.
Does he? But do you know that he recognizes him as evil? Are you caught on to what's happening right now?
No, he's got on to the gist. He doesn't know that he cast a spell, but he definitely senses the change.
I can still hear the talk going on between these two. I can hear these words being exchanged.
Sorry,
I suppose you would know.
Sorry.
I'm just saying, it would be fair to assume that you would know firsthand the troubles of the Great Peaks that you spoke of.
I'm going to move away from the group.
Also, there goes my plan.
Yeah.
So Neverember...
It's alright.
Make me a...
penis-sized check.
No.
Oh.
DS used to be a thing.
Hey!
That's alright.
17, what stat is that?
What's the
plus?
Persuasion.
You get a charisma? What's your charisma?
3, that's
20. It's a pretty good penis.
So Neverember does rotate towards you, and his personal guard stand up and start to form around you guys. And now so everything Rumblethane them, it's changing from this 3-way or this 4-way thing to a 2-way. All of you facing Crane.
And I did say that I've broken away.
Did you?
I did. I was saying that before we were talking, so I'm going to break. Yeah.
Which way? Back towards the crowd or towards the back of the chamber?
I'd rather go so we have Crane, and then we have the group. We have the two groups that are mashing.
Let's
together.
say Throne is Throne. The council thing is here. So Sabine, the mayor, Neverember is here. So down here, dwarves, you guys, Crane, Neverember.
Let's move towards the dwarves.
So
around.
You're trying to go to the back of the chamber.
I'm trying to sneak around the back. So I'm just separating myself because I like to
keep.
Indeed, I know firsthand.
You heard my message to you that he's seen this armor. He knows where it came from. He wants it back.
So first off, between the dialogue that's been given back and forth, do you know what Crane is saying he is?
It's not really.
Okay,
I think.
Make an intelligence check.
I think that I'm missing something here. I do feel that. Intelligence.
Dumb guy gets it.
Intelligence.
Yeah. If you you can just say out loud if you think you know what he's saying he is.
Well, he made fun of us for being two-legged, so he's either the beholder. Well, I got intelligence.
Yeah.
check.
Okay. Do you think?
No.
Okay.
I got a 19.
I think beholder was called as legged.
He's a dragon.
He's.
Oh, I would not have gotten that.
Yeah.
Well, I got a 21.
There's problems. So at the end there.
I get you. I get you.
He's saying that the Great Peaks have been beleaguered by dragons.
Yeah, it sucks too. I was going to tell him, it's when he was two-legged things, I was like, how do you know these came from the 4 legs of our ancestors? But it would have been the perfect.
We're not very proud of that.
You're not proud of that.
You don't
That's
like
why I
that.
stopped.
Right.
I was like,
you guys do not like that you're slaves of dragons.
Gotcha.
And he is now just insulting you for being two-legged people.
Now I'm extra angry.
Right. So, yes, you both know from that last exchange that you think you are facing against a dragon right now. That this...
At least we figured out. This might be better than the original plan anyway.
I'm trying to just lock this guy in while people are doing things.
He has not changed his stance or demeanor at all.
Yeah, I'm getting that depiction. This might be I mean, we fought a drake. We haven't fought a dragon.
And you thought that was a dragon.
It only blew you up like 2 or 3 times.
Just to understand, like, there was a dragon, an undead dragon, all the same, that attacked the walls of the city and was barely repelled.
Yeah.
If you let one manifest in the middle of the city, in the middle of Protector's Enclave, and so, it could be devastating.
And I'm just about to say, like, I do not want a disaster to fall upon these people. Can we speak privately? What is the purpose of your...
Well, I was just speaking privately at this point. Like, just talk to him as is.
Well, you can talk to him. If you want to take over the conversation.
Yeah, you are. I mean...
Well, I mean, I just told Neverember and everything to get behind me. But knowing what I now know...
They don't... So, Neverember's behind you. Sabine is next to him. The guards are forming up. He has his hand on his weapon. But they don't seem to really grasp that the fact that this guy's a dragon or could be a dragon.
I'm not grabbing my weapon.
Well, I have an out-of-character question.
Yes.
So, I'm not super familiar with the dragons and things like this now because this thing is obviously...
Dungeons
you're saying
Dragons.
So you're talking about he's going to manifest into a full dragon.
Well,
so
one way or another, like if this is what you think it is, if this guy is a real dragon... And he, even in his human form, he has all the same stats.
That's fine. Is it easier? So it's not easier to defeat his human.
Oh yeah, it's not like a vampire.
No.
Like we're no.
He doesn't take the weaker form. No,
and our characters would probably know that dragons are like serious.
That's why I'm asking out a question.
You don't know personally, but from your history, they were your masters. You were their slaves.
Yeah.
They walked among you and slaughtered you when they wind. They slapped you down. They killed your ancestors just because for sport, for fun. You know, that's why the Tyrminther Dragonborn hate dragons. And you are faced with a real one right now that you think.
Don't you know anything about like Nefarian and Nixia? And
no, he does.
Impressive horns, huh?
Yeah. So, and there's silver and gold tips on them, like a medal around them going out.
Yeah. My question was purely form because I was like,
no,
I have it now.
It's
like,
not.
I was just in the back. I'm gonna fucking 3d6 with a
He is
tiny
not.
bow.
He is not weaker. He is not weaker because he is in a human form. He has got his full stats.
I'm asking him like we do not want this. Obviously, we do not want disaster to befall upon these people. What is it you want in this court today?
Oh, well, I wanted to take you up to Icewind Dale. Have you forged that weapon for me?
See?
Why would you want that weapon?
Well, something that can slay gods and dragons. Who wouldn't want that weapon?
Sippy Tango, you're here at the last...
Sup?
The last...
Sippy Tango?
We are finding out that a tiefling that we were meeting with after finishing up a quest in Castle Never may actually be a dragon sent to thwart our plans, and we're right in the part of the conversation, so listen up.
That's good.
That was good. Wow.
And then you guys wrecked all the coolness of it.
That's what we do. It's Dungeons and Dragons. We wreck all the cool.
We just wreck all the cool. Fuck is cool.
Yeah. Pretty bad news bears, actually.
So,
my lord.
As his response. Well, so what is it you intend to do now?
Big question.
Us knowing.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Oh, well, I was hoping to draw you out into some... bravado. Maybe cull a couple of you now. But if you're keen to wait, then I am.
Okay.
You had such fun with my Drake earlier.
So like it's skull back.
Although I'm separated from the group, you just hear, motherfucker. That was your Drake.
Surnax!
Didn't even know it was here,
I didn't know
bro.
it was here, bro.
Give your dragon a call, you
Would you like a skull back?
T-fucker.
Give your tail a tug.
Yeah, that's it.
Certainly.
Give your tail a tug, you Drake fucker.
Shit. Yeah.
Did you want to meet him again?
What did you just say?
I said, she said, or he said, you had so much fun with my dragon. I was like, you would like to see its skull back. Would you like to have its skull back?
I said, certainly. Would you like to see him again?
And that's
This is more intimidating.
that's a pretty intimidating line. I don't think
We're not very intimidating. We're very sweet.
Wow.
We're such a kind folk.
I see we're at an impasse, and you're not going to take my aid. Though, I must say that I already had ships chartered for you, but I'm not going to tell you which ones. Enjoy your trip by sea. I'm sure we will meet again.
Fuck that.
He stands up, turns his back to you, starts walking towards the crowd.
I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
No!
Don't pull a roll.
No, Frost!
I mean, sorry. Of course I'll have it.
I'm like, bless this arrow, Frost.
Oh, fuck.
Bullshit. I'm confident that I'll be able to determine which ship was his.
2 ships, he said.
Ships, damn. That's more than one.
Also,
That's twice as many as one.
We technically don't have to go by boat now.
Hey, remember when I said, like, gosh, would it be so vulnerable against dragons?
Oh, this
by
approach
sea?
sucks. This approach is dangerous. This approach is safest. Shitty, okay-ish.
The boat is the fastest
It is the
route.
fastest.
You
But
could
now we
spend
know our enemy.
you could
It's also the
spend
safest.
months or
Man.
years
No, I like
doing
to
the other
take these
ways.
You know
underdog
what?
routes.
There's also
We're going to talk about this later.
there's also wizards here.
Where?
Maybe we can
Oh,
find
yeah.
maybe we can find magical travel. I don't know. No, he says no.
Yeah, there are magical circles, but to Icewind
You
Dale.
can't tell us no.
No, I just did actually.
I
I'm in this.
You
I'm in
can
this
certainly
panel.
try.
I'm in this
You can
panel.
certainly try.
You guys are in this panel. What's this panel? That's the players
It is
gallery.
weird.
This is my panel. So, like,
A weird deal, damn it, Xernex instead
I was
of...
just saying, are you sure we can't try to find
you
magical?
can certainly try. I will let you waste an entire session trying to find magical passage to Icewind Dale.
5 sessions trying to find magical battles.
Yeah, I was like, don't doubt your party's
Man,
ability
yeah,
to
yeah.
waste sessions trying to find something.
Alright, so, well, like at this point, if we're continuing at least into a little bit on just within the court,
Yeah.
I
We
will,
have 7
I will
minutes.
explain basically to everyone, like, if you haven't caught on by now, that was probably a dragon.
It wasn't probably.
I like how 21st century you are about it. You're like almost hip hop about it.
Yep.
You're like, listen, y'all, that'd be a dragon.
That was a dragon.
Did you pull up a chair and sit back?
That
with
dare
it?
Not
be
only
a
is
dragon.
it-
Let's Princess Harry's up. That shit was a dragon.
Almost assuredly a dragon. Almost assuredly a high ranking of the cult of the
Yeah,
dragon.
that wasn't just any old dragon.
So now you guys got some decisions to make. You have to get to the northern reaches of Icewind Dale to find Drunbar. You know of 3 paths.
It's
Pretty
because-
much they tell you. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
The way through the desert is the dumbest, stupidest, longest, most detrimental path.
I like that one.
It's
kind of like that one too, unfortunately.
The way through the desert is just...
kind of thinking.
I know.
It's not good. That desert is not good. And it's so long,
the dragons
so far.
would never expect it.
The dragons know where you're leaving from. They're
They'll never expect this 9 months.
They're gonna follow you any which way. That's just the longest, most horrible way out of it.
If we can't find magical travel, maybe we can find some kind of way to protect ourselves from being detected or something.
There is non-detection spells out there. Like his satchel has that on it.
Yeah, can we just
that doesn't stop people
in the satchel and just have somebody roll us around?
No, if you go in the satchel, you suffocate to death. But
there's air magic out there. Okay. All
Like,
right.
Anyway,
like, why don't we just?
So the other two ways, the only two practical ways, and they're still like one of them is still not very practical. One of them is to just walk against a wall of mountains that is hundreds of miles long, hoping to find a passageway from thousands of years ago, and then hoping that still exists.
I
right?
like that one too, except also
You sound
pretty
romantic.
vulnerable.
You sound romantic.
Yeah. Also, a very vulnerable place against dragons is on the mountainside.
It's true. In response to that, Wolfmaster, Dayton and I actually...
Dragons are more pissed.
Well, I'll say we actually had like an aside. Normally we don't do that. We went in to make drinks, and he and I talked about how... Because he started to basically confront, and we were already out there talking about how we were going to thwart this tiefling. We didn't know he was a dragon necessarily, but we knew he was evil, and we were going to take his ship and then be wary of him, but use his resources, which we're actually pretty glad we didn't do now, obviously. But you're like, how did you figure this out before everybody else? It's not that he did; it's just that we didn't say it on camera, unfortunately. So we had an aside that we probably shouldn't have had.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I just
you explained it now, so it makes sense in context.
There you go.
Yes. And we do have lots of discussions outside of the game.
It's true, but if
games.
we're going to stream and we want to include everybody,
absolutely.
then you guys should be in the room with us. So we left the room, unfortunately. So sorry about that. That's the answer to that question.
Yeah. And the last way is to go by ship, which would take a week of travel up the coast, hopefully getting through that channel, which is treacherous. But once you're in Icewind Dale, then you're kind of on the rough equal footing of anything else, which you still have to walk down or find amongst. You have a pinpoint on the wall or on the mountainside at that point, so it's only like a 20-foot stretch of, or 20 not 20 mile stretch of mountains to look for the entrance to Drunbar.
I am a strong sailor.
Still, it seems foolish to me. They have ships.
But we
No. Hold on.
A ship is fast. A ship is narrow.
Right.
A ship is
What is your alternative? You're gonna ride on your horses, your mounts, up to Icewind Dale? Can your mounts outrun dragons?
It's not about outrunning dragons. It's being.
I know you always forget that you have your horse. What did you name it? Mickey Mount? Whatever it was.
Yeah.
Named it Thunderos.
That's right.
And
you did
what-
name it.
Thunderos.
You're the only one that named your horse. I love
No,
it.
he actually named his
What did you
horse.
name your
I
horse?
think several people
Did I
named
not
their
name my
horses.
horse?
I thought we went over it one time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
I didn't
remember
name
what
my
it is
horse
off the
at
top of
all.
my head right now.
Everyone, like,
It's written down somewhere.
Everyone named their mounts.
My horse is a tool. I
We
did
named
not
him
name it.
after our breath weapon thing. Or at least that's what we started to do.
Yeah.
Maybe we did.
So,
Yeah, yours is called Copper Slap.
That's not my breath weapon.
oh, corrosive vomit.
Mine is civet.
It's not about, and
No.
I
But
still don't know
you're-
who I'm talking
Yeah,
to
right.
here.
You just feel
but-
safer on land,
Yes,
but
I do.
you're just as trapped on land if something decides to come down and get you
Cats.
as you are anywhere else.
I can't.
If it's overpowering, if it's enough to kill you, it doesn't matter if you're on a boat or on land.
Except we can find shelter on land. We
No.
can't-
Where can you find that a dragon cannot also walk or fly?
I don't know, man.
And you run, what's your speed? 20 feet? What's a dragon's?
It's not about outrunning it.
But you think that you're trapped on
I
a
told you I
boat.
didn't name mine.
Can I just think?
No, I get it. Like,
didn't.
I completely get it. That you're like, I'm isolated. I'm trapped on this boat. But when you really think about it, if a dragon can already kill you, it doesn't matter if you're on a boat.
Maybe not. I'm just saying that's row for us as a opinion.
Yeah,
I was gonna say that's definitely row for us.
Like
it feels
in
small. It feels scary.
Yeah.
It's
in the Halo
uncontrollable.
series, and a lot of Space Marines feel the same way. When you're on a ship, you can't fight back. You can't do anything. Like,
well, fuck the war.
but that
is
makes
a scary place.
Oh yeah, right. And that makes sense in that context. But in this context, hell, at least on the boat. You pull one of your hairs out.
Yeah.
At least on the
that
boat.
is something that Rofros is worried about, is that boats are flammable.
Boats are flammable, but
Very flammable.
But hold on.
And there's a Hagen now.
Let me give you another thing though.
Shark
There
gods.
are Sahagins.
The cult of the dragon has more minions than just dragons. You've already faced a whole group of worm spawn, dragon spawn. You have to fly or boat to attack another boat. So you'd just be facing a dragon or drakes on the boat. On the ground, they can ride up an entire army to you.
But the problem is that you can't.
And dragons.
He has a point though. Like, you can't take the ground away from us. You can take the boat away from us.
Yeah.
Like, you can destroy the boat underneath it.
That's the sailor saying this.
Yeah, that's fun. It's the pinnacle of.
I'm saying both have their.
Boats are flammable.
Boats are flammable.
We'll have to talk about
There's
this later.
nowhere to run.
He wants
on
the
ground.
Barunas
You
and the
cannot run
Doomsdays,
faster
no.
than a dragon.
It's true, and I'm again as a sailor, despite everything I've just said, as far as the scarcity, or this scariness of it, the boat is the quickest. It's the slippiest. It's the fastest. It's the smallest area to aim for. I know what I'm doing. We have a fire breather with us. We have a fire mage, basically. I mean, we can do this. This is the only thing that we can really do. The only problem is that this guy is trying to, fake news us and be like, "Oh, I already hired the boats, trying to figure out who they are."
I know, right?
Hey, I'll figure that shit out. I'm a sailor.
I know.
I'll roll these bone dice. And we'll figure it out.
Yeah, but Rofrost's
Or
official
the dice that get us killed. With
Rofrost's official advice was that is just that we would just be far too vulnerable at sea. Rofrost is not concerned about the speed which we travel. They cannot do anything. We're the only ones who can do anything with the destination, with what we have, and all this shit.
I like that Rofrost has official advice.
No, that's good. It's all good.
No, it makes sense. This is a good point of discussion for like next session or even later.
This is like a big divergence on how this adventure goes. Like, this is a great decision point. It is, like, all around. Do you want to spend months riding up there? Do you want to spend weeks at sea? How do you want to be attacked? How do you want to control that environment?
We're pretty much just kind of deciding like the flavor of the campaign here.
Right.
The fancy die.
Put the lock.
I got it.
Land boat, sail by the district. And
Sky
then
boat.
we'll be attacked by land sharks. It's just
sky
terrible.
boat.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, thanks, Sippy Tango, for joining in at the end. We have everything but last session and this session on the YouTube channel below our thing. If you
we
want
don't
to
have last session on YouTube. Then this is session 19, suckers. We spent from 12.
Yeah.
No, I said it was 19. Yeah.
This is
12
this
to
is coming
19.
from a skeptic. I'm one of those people that's like, I don't know how you could watch this. Why would you watch three pieces of people playing? But we do this for you
Oh my
guys.
God, yeah.
I know. Hang on. And I was gonna say,
I hope you're going somewhere with this.
our trek through Castle Never was super fun, super interesting. We fought very little. We talked our way out of stuff. We saw things we shouldn't have seen. Sippy Tango is now following the
Thank you.
So if you want to go back a couple of sessions, do you know the name of the session where we started in Castle Never? It's okay, you can figure it out. Anyway, our last several sessions, we've been playing this pretty regularly every Wednesday nights. I guess I'll lead us out since I've got started. We meet on Wednesdays at 9:30 Arizona time, which is not Mountain or California. I think it's very specific. So whatever time it is now, go backwards 3 hours. That's where we are. That's where we start. We're playing Dragonborn Campaign. We are all Dragonborn. We all have some magic. So we have an Arcane Trickster, we have a Paladin, we have a Cleric, we have a Mage. We've had a lot of fun doing this. And we've backlogged everything on YouTube. You can see us here on Twitch every Wednesday, 3 hours ago. So 9:30 Arizona time.
60 hours of footage we have on YouTube.
So far, so
just
good.
this campaign.
Just of this game. So 11:30 Eastern, which means it'll probably be 9:30 California time. You figured that yourself.
Eastern. They're 3 hours. No, you're 2 hours.
2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
We're currently...
It'd be 8:30 on
We're Mountain?
Pacific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This time of year we're mountain.
Yeah,
time
so this-
zone.
we're Mountain time.
Arizona
right now, so-
doesn't do daylight savings. Currently, we are mountain.
So we're a little weird like that, but
Yeah.
we have fun. We really like interaction, as Wolfmaster 317 has found out, and Sippy Tango. Really, thank you for coming down right at the end. Sorry it was right at the end. It was good for you to follow us. We appreciate it. This is a Dragonborn. You're in Austin, Texas, yeah. So
Austin.
it's
Oh,
Austin.
Austin. I know friends in
Yeah,
Austin.
cool. Yeah, they've been to
got
Austin. I
friends
think
in
we've all been to
Austin's a
Austin.
happy
We've all been
place,
to
man.
Austin.
Yeah.
So he has been to Austin.
Yeah.
Fuck this guy.
Yeah,
Jesus
fucking
Christ, this guy.
Again.
Anyway,
with
so
this.
this is the Wileyverse, and this was the Dragonborn campaign. We'll be back 1 week from today at 3 hours from before now. Thanks for watching.
Thank you. Seriously.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, Sippy
Hello.
Tango. We'll see you next week. Come on back.